Welcome everybody to WHIZBANG'S workshop theory crafting stream. We're going to be casting some of the creators who are making decks with their new toys through the course of the day. It's going to be myself, Raven Sottle, and of course Edelweiss, who is opening the show with me right now. Adel, what's caught your eye in the upcoming set?
Well, I have to say, there's tons of nostalgia throughout WhizBang's workshop, but the one that's definitely caught my eye the most has been Raza in Priest, and I think combining that with the Reno hero might allow us to relive some of the old Razakus Priest days, with Shadow Reaper Anduin. The pieces fit together a little bit differently, but I think some of the damage potential is going to give people a lot of the same feels as before.
So that was my favorite ever deck, believe it or not. I didn't think it was going to work, but I'll probably talk to you about it a little bit more as we go on. Ravens behind the scenes, just looking for matches for us to watch. Obviously, players will take a moment to get queued. We are going to dive into Fino's match, apparently.
Always
But
a
yeah,
good place to start.
shout out to chat. Those of you who are here early, we will be doing giveaways through the day. If you're active in chat, you will be entered into the giveaways. That's how it's going to work. So, shout out your favorites, visit your favorite people, tell us what you want, find things for us to watch, and Raven will do his best to give the people what they want. And it's my fault. I called Fino. I wanted to see Fino play Mage. He was talking about Mage. He talked about Rogue a lot, but here we are. We're pirate roguing, Adolf. First match of the day. But yeah,
Oh,
Fino is just going with the pirates. He has the 5-drop in his hand, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
yeah, Rogue got some very kind of unusual tools. I guess we're used to them getting pirates, but I feel like the way that the pirates function this time is a little bit wacky. That the legendary kind of summoning them in to attack immediately and die. Um, there's some clever things you can do with Sonya Water Dancer that could lead to some kind of strange shenanigans. And the new location gives you kind of a one-time Crystal Caverns effect of setting something to a 4/4. So potentially you can combine that with this weapon, the water cannon, to get a 4/4 pirate with charge, or that attacks immediately at any rate. Uh,
Yeah,
lots of
how do you
different
feel about
synergies
that
going
card,
on.
the location? Because I saw the review from Fino and Jumbre, McBanterface, and Pocket Train, and they hated the location. But I thought it looked pretty good in conjunction with this weapon.
It's one of those where like there's not necessarily an immediate effect, and so those have to be pretty powerful when you do activate them. We see that with the Warlock location, where you tend to play it on 3, and then on 4 you copy a large minion. So I think it's kind of in that same vein where you're just gonna play it out and then hope to get the activation in a powerful way on the following turn. We'll have to see if it kind of holds up, but I think there certainly could be something there just because of the strength of curving it into the weapon.
Yeah, also interesting to see how miniaturized comes out today, as we're seeing Fino obviously drawing all the miniaturized cards. Of course, Rogue will always do this, obviously. I feel that in a lot of the cases, the miniaturized cards are actually you play them for the second half of it. Like you set something up with the first half, and then the second half is actually where you pop off. Is that on point or is that garbage? Am I talking nonsense?
I think it depends on the miniaturized, but a lot of times the battle cry is so powerful that yeah, you can set up some pretty crazy plays with the miniaturized version. Certainly, the Shaman legendary Shutter Block is that way, where you triple the next battle cry, and that's it does carry over turns, but uh, it's always easier to use a 1 mana minion to set that up. And if you really want to go all in, Geppetto, the new version of Geppetto, gives you back any of your miniaturized minions because he says you get copies of every 1 attack or 1 health minion you played this game.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty ridiculous. Fino here, by the way, refusing to use Shadow Step because he has Leroy in hand. I'm absolutely sure that's the reason he's not playing it. He just wants to Leroy somebody twice in a turn for the old days.
Time waits for no one.
Yeah, I guess between, Sandbox Scoundrel, play Leroy, and then you could Shadow Step it, you could get quite a few Leroy swings in, but Uh, let's see, the Ziliax he's made here costs 1 less for each minion in play, and your other minions have +1/+1. So looking to go for kind of board flood play style, and then buff them up with the Ziliax.
Yeah, and we're going to see Ziliax in every deck today, I want to say. I reckon that nobody will not play Ziliax. It will just be in every single deck. It's pretty versatile. When you look at the options on their own and try and work out what to build, I think that's the wrong way to do it. You build your deck of 29 cards, and then you work out which Ziliax you need for your deck. I think that's how it works for me.
What should I?
Well, certainly with the 10 card requirement, yeah, I think everyone's gonna be playing Ziliax. I mean, there's really no reason not to in most cases. You know, I think you're hard pressed to find a deck where you can't build some kind of Ziliax that is going to be beneficial to what you're trying to do.
The first Leroy of the day, and it's just a tempo card. That's sad. You can't do that.
You know, Paladin and Shaman are going to have some scary things that they can do with Leroy because of the Wind Fury possibilities. Druid not known for its board clear capabilities. But, you know, the spell damage package here has given them a lot more utility, you know, between swipe becomes much more viable when combined with spell damage. In the old days, we used to do that with Azure Drake. But, oh my goodness, is this just a clear or lethal? Just a clear.
One of the great things about seeing this day, we get to see all the new diamond cards, the new signature cards, all that stuff. We'll get to see a lot of today. Even though there's only one signature card actually worth having, of course.
Oh, and which one is that?
It's the dog. The card from the Death Knights, the 4/2.
Yeah, the Frost card.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh, Fino, unfortunately, just running out of cards there. I think the biggest draw engine that Rogue has access to at this point is the Lucky Sevens, and that's a lot harder to play now that we don't have a Naga Trickster cheated out.
Yeah, this thing is going to take me a while to get used to. Like I've learned what most of the new cards do after, in some cases, extensive reading. But knowing what's gone, knowing what I can't do anymore, might take a little while.
Who wants to play?
Also, just a reminder, I'll do this a lot in the first hour in particular, but these people are streaming. If you see something you want to watch, more closely, listen to the players' side of things, please go and visit them. We, in some ways, don't want you to remain here all day. We want you to go and watch these players do their thing. But you're welcome here as well, because we have drops. Well, no, we don't. We have giveaways. Same thing, just more variants.
Although, to be fair, some of the other streamers may be doing their giveaways on their streams as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have Fino switching to the hand buff Death Knight, which is now focused on buffing specifically undead minions.
Yeah. Fino read the buff the undead card, and he thought it only buffed one because English is rubbish. And despite his amazing fluency in English, it is his second language, and it says buff undead, and undead is a plural and a singular. So he gave it a 4 anyway, I think, out of 4. And then when he realised it buffed them all, he went absolutely nutty. He was like, "Oh my goodness, this does all of these things? Okay, that's superb." So no wonder we get to see this, and also we get to see Dr. Stitch and So for the first time. This card, you discover a 5/3 and a 1 to stitch to it, which means actually in real life, when it dies, you get the 5-drop. When the 5-drop dies, you get the 3. When the 3 dies, you get the 1. So, curious to see how powerful that is and how people want to deal with it. Like, do you just leave a 6/4 on the board? Because it's so much work to get through it all, or do you take it on one at a time? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically like if you don't have a silence or some way of dealing with Dr. Stitch and Fix without activating it, I think you've got to just ignore it most of the time because that's so many layers that you have to work your way through. And I don't know how it's going to work if the opponent is going to be able to mouse over and see what has been discovered, because that could be quite relevant, depending on
Right.
what the stat lines are of the minions being summoned. The fact that they're discovered each time is, potentially pretty terrifying.
Yeah, the fact they discover means you're going to get I think I used to know the number exactly, but it's a top 85% card or something like that out of the pool, maybe top 90. And turning a 6 into a 5 just isn't going to change the situation much. So you're going to have to kill it twice to make it worthwhile. Like you say, silence, great. Anything else, well, just take 6 a turn. Except it's getting buffed, so it's now 7 already in hand.
And we see Headless Horseman coming into the hand. That is the only hero card out of the WHIZBANG set. And the flavor is just everything about this card is on point. The rhyming, and you have to go find the head. I do wonder how often people are going to end up, getting that upgraded hero power. But even if it's just deal 3 damage, that's quite the clock.
It is, right? It's just a replacement for Morgraine is how I see it, with a little bit of upside. The upside isn't particularly great. The things you discover just go to your hand, not to the board, that sort of thing. So don't get distracted by the secondary things it does. Just look at the fact you now hit your opponent for 3 every turn.
And we haven't commented on this yet, but it seems that Fino has gone for not only the hand buffing synergies here in this deck, but also some of the death rattle stuff. And Stitch and Fix, I'm sure is a big part of that. But there's also a death rattle on one of the buff cards. It's the miniaturize for Death Knight. It has 5 costs that Death Rattle buffs undead in your hand by +2/+2, and so that, particularly like you were mentioning, the miniaturize version, going to be easier to activate, and with something like Death Growl, you could potentially get huge amounts of buffs onto the minions in your hand.
Yeah, we're going to see Yodeler played quite a lot today, I think. There's just so much going on with it. Already a fringe card, not so much in the current meta, but has been in and out of metas in the last year. So maybe it's found a home, we shall see.
Maybe Bear going for the maximum sustain weapon, lifesteal and armor, so this is going to be dragging out a little longer. Darkthorn Quilter, though, coming into the hand. That is probably the minion that you want to hold on to the longest to just keep getting it buffed up, as it's not a battle cry, it's effect. It happens at the end of every turn.
Just going to shout out to chat, chat asking for Warlock. So how this is the deal, chat, okay? Because we've got to commentate on the game in front of us and talk about some of the new cards. If you find somebody playing Warlock, let us know, and we'll try and put them on the screen for you. Because I think a lot of people want to see some handlock.
Yeah, handlock got a ton of tools, not just out of the expansion, but in the new core set.
What are the stuff in the core set as?
I believe we have the giants back. Mountain Giant is back. And an older card got buffed that you summon a demon with stats or an imp with stats equal to your hand size, and it has taunt now.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
You used to be just a big body, now it has taunt, which is a pretty significant difference.
Oh, get Vino.
No.
Vino will not be impressed.
Yeah, not happy about that one. I don't know if maybe one hero deserves another here.
I think it's a good time to do it, right? You just, with the 1 slot requirement.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise it's just like play the Harmonic or Hollow Hound into 1 minion. Pretty tough, yeah.
Boo, baby bear. Playing Reno, honestly.
Going for the buff instead for the quilter, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, one kind of funny thing that I wonder how often it'll show up is if you can, you know, both get the quilter buffed up and use that poisonous minion that has of late been used in Rainbow DK quite a bit, then you can have it so that all the pings just kill, you know, with one shot each enemy minion, and then everything else gets to go face.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I like the sound of that. This is one of those cards. I always look at the cards because I'm a pessimist. Which of the cards am I going to be annoyed with most in about 6 weeks' time? And that Quillbore is on the list. I like it. I think it's a great design. I'm looking forward to playing the archetype. 6 weeks' time, it's one of the cards I reckon I'll be swearing about. Not that I swear. I'm very, very measured individual at the best of times. Bino's going to gain like 8 million health. This is great.
Yeah, lots of swings back and forth, but you know, this is the point that can happen with something like a hand buff deck, where when you don't get your initial spike to win the game for you, it can be a little challenging, you know, running low on your card draw as those minions have been killed, and now you're drawing minions that aren't buffed anymore because Fino's gone for that extra death rattle package. He's got the yodeler but no targets, so I think this is going to have to be the horseman turn. He can kill the 5/5 and then use the hero powers to clear the other minions.
Baby Bear does kind of have infinite stuff though, with the 10 legendaries shuffled into the deck and 57 health. So Fino's got his work cut out to finish this one off, even if he manages to stabilize here.
Like this though, the old double hero power turn.
Yep. I always forget this every time. Even when I say to myself I'm not going to forget it next time, I still forget
it. A large yodeler, just need a death rattle to activate.
Someone in chat asking how the new WHIZBANG card works. I don't think anyone will play that today, I shouldn't think. Maybe one or two people have a look.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be some.
You just get to play a deck. It's mainly, correct me if I'm wrong, Adel, but it's mainly for people with smaller collections, so they get to have a go with all sorts of the good stuff without having to buy the whole decks to see if they like them or not.
Definitely that plays a big role and it's most beneficial to those folks, but I think everyone can have a good time, you know, with those decks. They are, you know, all pre-built decks, but then the new twist this time around with it is some of them have added effects, like the Demon Hunter deck. There's just 3 wishes in there, which are basically 0 mana spells that have the Zephyrus effect. So, you know, various twists like that are added to the WHIZBANG decks this time around, so they're not just, you know, pre-built decks for each class.
Not so vanilla, so everyone can have a bit of a go with them even if they own the cards already. That's good too. Okay, well, this is going on and on. This is definitely both these players' fault, and not ours for sticking with Fino. So much new stuff. Obviously, they do have a requirement they have to play 10 cards out of the new set. Is this the lethal we've been looking for, so we can go look for Warlocks?
Not quite. And there's a Hollow Hound in hand. That's going to get copied.
Yep. Just so chat know as well, the players are encouraged not to concede in these matches, just so that the other creator can get YouTube content or do their fun combo they've got lined up that you don't know is there and that sort of thing. So if you're wondering why this game hasn't been ended yet, that's part of the reason why.
Oh, so this Spellstone might change things. I'm not, probably not, but because of the recruits in play, there's a possibility for Fino to just gain 5 corpses immediately, which would upgrade that lesser Spinel Spellstone and get it to +2/+2. Oh, okay. So he's just hoping that a wall is going to be good enough using the copy on this taunt to buff up the Hollow Hound this way rather than doing the Hound now and making an extra copy of it.
Yeah.
So this way he gets the benefit on the Hound and the Shambling Zombie tank, which summons a copy of itself.
You're barking up the wrong
Oh my. Okay.
Oh look, a Ziliax.
So that 1 mana legendary from the Aviana that was played earlier.
Fino's stuff's getting pretty large. This is a 9/10 Hollow Hound now. Which is basically a Reno at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna clear up the Ziliax plus plus Raza. Wants to clear the Greybow last, but I think because of that Fairy Dragon, which can't be targeted, there's not gonna be a way of you can isolate the Greybow at the end, but that's about it.
Mornpor's 11/17 now.
Yep, just make as many stats as possible. You know, once the Reno effect has been used and a lot of the spell damage stuff, you know, just going all in like this, it should be challenging for a Druid to clear.
Yeah, I didn't think he could get back into this, but this is going to eliminate 77 health pretty quickly if it sticks about. Wow.
There are 9 more random legendaries that are in Baby Bear's deck from that Aviana, so those might be able to swing things around.
Plus the nest as well, of course. So
yeah,
just a resource battle. Haven't seen one of these for some time.
Yeah, and this is the thing about the Headless Horseman hero power is 3 damage is powerful, but until you find that other part of it, the Discover and Undead, it's not so good for value, and you've lost your inherent way of generating corpses. So for certain things like that require you to have quite a few corpses, it can be pretty challenging. Of course, the Deathwing, that is probably gonna do it, particularly with the Death Rattle summons there.
Probably, but 11/17 more. Poor hang around for 1 turn. I guess it should be over. Like dragons versus pumpkins. Sounds like a terrible game.
So, to Captain Kitty in the chat there, once you draw the head, it upgrades the hero power so that in addition to the 3 damage, you get to discover an undead minion. Oh, I forgot that's a dragon you can get.
Oh no! Please! Stop, he's already dead. No cards in hand.
I just want to see the head drawn. No, plague immediately, of course. There it is! Now you get to see it at least. Wait, this actually means that Fino has an out. Because he could discover, now that it's only 2 runes, he could discover Soul Stealer, which destroys all minions and gives you a corpse for each one.
Oh, yeah. He does have 21 corpses. Yeah.
That's not gonna do it.
Well, I thought we might see some resource battles today. I didn't think we'd see it this early and go this long. This was a long game of Hearthstone, considering they were both slamming big things on the board. It wasn't like control versus control or something.
Yeah.
And Baby Bear finishing on 80 health, effectively, which is a lot. That's a large amount of health.
Yeah, Druid demonstrate. I mean, most of that armor came from the Ignis weapon, which of course, Ignis still very powerful card, and not going to be too many Vipers running around on this theory crafting stream, I don't think. So little extra power there, but Druid once they run away with rings, it can be pretty challenging to deal with. So I suspect we'll be seeing a lot more Highlander Druid with the addition of the new cards that give it a lot more survivability.
Yeah, absolutely. Raven giving the people what they want, by the way. Gone straight over to see Mark play with the Warlock, which I believe is handlock, if chat aren't lying to us, because chat would never do that, right? Chat, just not that sort of thing. And it looks like we've got a Warlock mirror, so you asked for Warlock, you got twice the Warlock, even if you had to wait a little while for it. And there is a Wheel of Pizza in Jason's hand, by the way.
Wheel of Pizza, is that what we're calling it?
I think so. That's the only name I've heard it called anywhere, ever. So that's what I'm calling it anyway.
I suspect that most of the time Wheel of Death is going to get played out of the Yogg box in Mage or out of the Yogg location. I imagine that's going to be the new low roll out of those.
Oh, absolutely. And with it being 5 spells of 5 or more, and not 10 like certain person we just watched thought it might do. There's not that many spells of 5 or more. We're going to see it a lot, I think, come from Mage.
Yeah.
Trying to process all this new stuff in Mark's hand. Mark, of course, loves to mess around with this sort of stuff. There's a Tony.
Sure.
This is going long.
Well, so, okay, the Tony and the Symphony make me think that Mark also has Wheel of Death, because those are things that you include when you destroy your deck and then don't want to take fatigue.
Uh-huh, that makes sense. So we could actually see Wheel of Death being used. Well, I think we're going to see Wheel of Death being used by one of these two players, because looking at the hand, there's not a whole lot of actual kill you stuff. So somebody's got to make this work.
Now, Jason does have some of the sort of demon stuff going on in terms of there's Nemzi and Enhanced Dreadlord, the Queen who pulls out 2 knights. So some of that new Warlock demon stuff going on. There is also the Titan, which you don't want to pull out with Nemzi, because then you're not going to get that portal.
Yep.
Oh, and Reno. Okay, this explains some of the card choices here. It's actually a Highlander Warlock.
Oh. I mean, yeah, great. So what's the choice on Mark's Ziliax? Divine Shield, Taunt, Lifesteal, Rush, Death Rattle, Shuffling. Okay. 6 mana recursive Ziliax.
Do you think majority of the time Ziliax is going to be perfect module plus something, depending on what sort of deck you are?
Module? I don't know the names.
Perfect module is just original Ziliax. It's the...
Sure, yes. Yeah. I think you're right.
Because that's the only one that has Rush.
Yeah, Rush seems very important, obviously, because it's... Especially if a number of minions we're already seeing. Like, we are going to want to be able to kill those immediately. Rush is closer to charge when it's a minion board deck battle, so...
Interesting. Not opting for the Sargeras. I would think generally you want to get that down as quickly as possible, particularly with the wheel in hand. I mean, if you Sargeras and then just play wheel, you might just be okay.
Oh my. I swear I did not think we'd see somebody actually play this card today at all. Even though the creators like to experiment with the new stuff, I still thought we would not see this card played.
Wheel of Death.
Yeah.
You have to figure someone's gonna try.
And it's a mirror. There's two of them at it.
They may in fact both be Highlanders. Oh wait, no. Mark has 2 Gul'dan's gifts.
Yeah, 2 watchers.
Still, very similar idea in terms of how they're built. I think Mark is just looking for his wheel. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Okay. The weapon is gonna stop the first 3 fatigue ticks, so there is that.
Oh, the animation shows you how long left. It's one of my big complaints. They always do, but that's nice and clear. I love it.
It auto activates Reno as well. This is something I hadn't considered. You don't even have to be a Reno deck. If you just destroy, then you've got an active Reno, which is, best clear in the game presently, I would say.
Yes. Okay. So Mark now can't win with wheel. Mark actually has to kill Jason here.
Yeah,
His
it's just
wheel
not
will
gonna be
just
fast
be
enough.
behind.
Can you feel the gift of the sun?
Hoping for some offensive holy spells. I think you're wanting like the Crusader aura or something. But yeah, actually,
The animation.
this is probably why Jason saved the Sargeras, is figuring, well, actually, I don't even necessarily want the portal summoning the taunt imp, so I'll just save it because it's another poof clear like Reno. So if he can just be fully defensive here, yeah, he's taking fatigue damage, but if he gets a free turn, he can. I think Mark's just doing that for the memes here.
Yeah,
I suppose you can fizzle to get this hand again, but oh, you know what it is? It's to turn off Jason's Tony.
Sure. Okay.
So Jason's forced to take fatigue damage because Mark no longer has a deck to get Tony'd away.
I'm just
or
too
not
invested in
away.
the ticking animation. Look at it. It's so great. 2.
Wow.
I want to see what the last one looks like, and we're going to because there's no way. Mark's
Okay,
looking at it.
Mark's conceding in the only way he can, which is just to take fatigue damage here. Yeah, I mean, no way to mount enough pressure to pull this out quickly enough.
No. Jason has rolled armor gain on the hero power twice, by the way, as well, just in case. 1, come on. I want to see the 1. Tick. There's the last one. Look, it's ready.
Oh, the last one's got like the flaming skull.
Yeah. World first. Win.
Oh my goodness! So there's got to be a good animation too. Very nice. Well, this was not what I expected when I was seeing Warlock. I suppose the handlock cards are a little more core set focused, so maybe don't have enough of the new additions in there. But that was pretty spectacular to get to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to stay with Mark just for another game because I think people enjoyed that. And if they didn't, I did. So that's all that matters, really. So, and Raven apparently did too. Oh. Right, let's see this against, I was going to say a real deck now, but let's see this against something that isn't the mirror, so it actually has a chance of losing. Because in the mirror, it's likely that one of them was going to win.
Yeah, and I like that. Oh, of course, there's Phantom. I was gonna say, if you're not playing Phantom with wheel, what are you even doing?
That's not allowed.
Yeah, that's going to get cheap really fast. Oh. I am still gobsmacked that this is actually a deck that might be functional, honestly.
You know, it could just be one of those where it's like, if the meta ever shifts heavily towards control that you play it as something to just put a clock on them, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's what I
there's
thought it would be.
no way to
useful.
stop it.
And the fact you can have a full hand of sort of 8 and 9 drop powerful things, if you can get that far and actually just do something for a few turns, was something I didn't really think you'd be able to set up. But we're going to find out tonight whether you can, whether that's an ongoing thing to expect or whether that was just a one-off fluke because it was a mirror.
Yeah, and people are noting the opponent here, this Death Knight, is WHIZBANG deck. The rainbow does not mean that it's rainbow runes. It means that it has cards from every class. So that's why there was a wild growth played just there.
Oh yeah, it's got all sorts going on in that deck. Yeah.
So a ramping Death Knight.
Yeah. Not something to be encouraged. 6-mana Death Knight. But with
Wow,
nothing
Mar-
much to do in hand.
Mark has really gone in on all the stuff that shuffles into your deck, even having the floppy Hydra. I guess the idea is so you can play wheel as soon as possible, and then just have stuff to prevent you from actually, from actually going into fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, Floppy Hydra also would be pretty good later on. It only has to be shuffled in like twice more, and it's a threat on top of a way to stop you from fatiguing. So it's a card I thought we might see some weird Druid decks build where you just cycle through your deck, play a load of stuff as you go, and keep using this until it becomes too big to handle. But yeah, makes sense, right? Just protect your fatigue. That's the hard part of 5 turns, 15 damage
Yeah.
of fatigue. Actually, it's not
Yeah,
hard.
it doesn't seem like that many turns for winning the game, but when you consider that it's 15 damage, it gets a little riskier.
I mean, 5 turns is a lot of turns. A lot of games of Hearthstone end in 6 or 7. Like, from the start, so... And you don't have a deck. I thought it was going to be impossible. But I'm not right very often, let's face it.
They'll encounter a witch in the woods.
No temporary copy gained, since Mark is already at max hand size here.
Can you feel the gift?
It seems to me that one of the hardest parts is just drawing enough cards to find the wheel. So I wonder if maybe a little less generation is in order, just to be able to draw more quickly.
Yeah, this might take a long time to refine. Hearthstone players notorious for refining decks in very short periods of time after release, but I've got a feeling this won't be that simple. There's going to be a lot of options. We're going to have to decide, do you want to just go for some sort of straight-up Wheel of Time win, or do you want to do things in your deck that actually put pressure on, and that's just a backup plan? Are we a straight control deck? What are we going to do? And then when they've decided which way they want to go, which are the best cards to use, do you go straight Reno? So it's going to take a while for this deck, if it is a playable deck, which I'm still skeptical of.
There it is!
Yep.
And there's the Symphony to stop fatigue. Not the most impressive board clear tools, right? There's not the Reno or the Sargeras, but
Right.
if you aren't being pressured, do it quickly enough, and can block the fatigue, then it's a lot of the work done. And being able to play Phanotem the same turn is pretty huge.
Bizzle now as well.
And
I think one of the other problems will be if this, let's say this became a powerful deck, powerful archetype that people played. There's a lot of things you can do to play against it, like just don't put many threats on the board until they do their thing, because they only kill you the wheel if they're not going to kill you with many of their minions. You can really wait until the wheel is played before threatening them. And if they don't try and put threats on the board of their own, they can never play their wheel, which is their win condition. So there'll be things you could do to play around it if it does get powerful.
Well, or this, if you make sure you've got maximum pressure going into the turn 8, so that it is challenging for them to play the wheel, then you can put them in a tough spot. In this case, Mark not happy to see the poisonous on the other side there, but still gaining 15 life, even just the once, is pretty substantial for sustain. So, gonna be able to avoid the fatigue from the Hydra that was already in play, and then play Symphony. You've got Photographer, the Drain Souls to gain life. There's options here.
Yeah, these things having reborn as well was not ideal for Mark. They're pretty good rolls for.
Yeah.
revolves on
Looking
the side.
for deal. Nope, that's none of those are a board clear. So I think you go for the lifesteal.
I think you have to. Is it enough though?
So table flip is going to clear at least all the 3/3s.
Sure. Yeah.
Table flip, an incredible clear that Warlock just gained. Reduces for each card in your hand.
Yes, it's always going to cost sort of 4 or probably a lot less. Probably 2 or 1 in this particular deck. So taps first to try and hit the right movement. Doesn't hit it, but it's fine. The table flip, as you said, was the fine backup.
In addition to just looking really cool, getting to see that tick down every turn is very fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love the animation so much already. Might get a bit frustrating when I keep losing to it, but it's fantastic.
And that's not the right movement either. Gonna go fishing again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no! That might just be it. And they're not shadow spells, so the sketchy artist can't pull it out.
No rush over there anywhere? No.
Now, Serenity reduces significantly the power represented, but it doesn't clear them.
So Serenity after a Drained Soul? That keeps you alive another turn. That's fine. It's not fine by any stretch, but it's a thing. It's okay.
I wonder.
You know that you're going to draw the other movement probably next turn.
Right.
I guess there was the question there just for a second of do you actually want to give your opponent a board space or not? Or just let them have a load of 1-attack minions?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at not reducing the power of the minions there, because you can at least...
Yeah. This is just lethal
Yeah.
on board, right?
Yeah, particularly with that. Well, there you have it. WHIZBANG deck wins it out.
Okay. So, Mark losing both those games. One was a mirror, though, and it looked very much like a very traditional mirror where the person who does their thing first just wins. As Raven's searching for another match for us. But that looks better than I expected to look. I genuinely thought that card would be unplayable, and it certainly looks
there
like there's
might be a
options to make
way.
it work. Yeah.
Yeah, and the WHIZBANG decks, I think, are not to be discounted. They may not be always what you're looking for. They may not be the best of the best, but they're definitely serviceable. And I think that's the idea, is to give people who maybe can only make one legendary an option that lets them be able to play on ladder and feel good about it.
Yeah. We are, though, off to see our world champion. Pocket Train in action. See what he's cooking up. It'll be some combo nonsense for sure. Oh, Pocket Train. Come on, Pirates.
What's wrong with
Sonya.
pirates?
Oh, the Sonya signature is gorgeous. Raven, if you are able, can you hover the Sonya signature? It's so good. Thank you so much.
And the old play of prep raiding party.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the new weapon and everything, that's just incredible that we have prep raiding party back in core.
Spoken like someone who speaks to Wicked every week.
You know, someone's got to represent the rogue players.
Uh-huh. So which way has Pocket gone with this? Yeah, pretty much what you'd expect, right? Just type the word pirate into your deck, find some 1-drops, put Sonya in, go, see what happens.
Well, something you can do with the gift is go for deadly poison. And so buff up the attack of that weapon very high. He's got the Bloodsail Raider, which will gain attack equal to that. So this could get up to 5, 6, 7.
Huh.
The Raider will get that be 9, and combined with Shoplifter Goldbeard, that would be 9 damage immediately face.
Yeah. This is a test for the mage as well. This mage deck, let's go slightly reductionist here. This mage deck can't win, I'm going to say, if it doesn't draw keyboard. So they've got a keyboard in play. Let's see if it can win. You just cannot generate the minions in the minionless mage for the first so many turns. And there's not enough control options, I don't think. But keyboard in play a bit late. Let's see if they can get to the Yogg, which is only 2 turns away. So, yeah. This is your good card. If you get to 7, then into 8, you've got a chance. And we are going to see Yogg in the box take place, which is something I'm excited about, as long as it's not every game. I want to see if it casts Wheel of Time.
This is where things get silly. So this is quite clever. So Sonya Water Dancer, every time you play a 1-cost card, you get a copy that costs 0. So the way that this works with the gifts, you get a 0-cost gift, and then when you play the Deadly Poison, I think you should get a 0-cost Deadly Poison. I missed whether that already happened or not.
I think it did. Yeah. Raven's telling us it
So,
did happen.
yeah, you just get to double up on the deadly poisons that you're getting here, and suddenly this weapon has gone from 3 attack to 11 attack in a single turn.
But now you have to face the power of Yogg. And I'm here for it. Whatever happens here, it's going to be great, I'm sure. Do you attack first? Nobody knows. Probably, actually. There's a lot of removal that costs 5 or more.
Sure, yeah, let's just clear our own board. Why not? I told you it was going to happen!
Idiot! Oh, everybody wants to see that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
That's
that
what
every
I
game,
like
mate.
to see out of a box. That's what I like to see out of a box. It may actually be the case that until there are more spells that cost 5 or more, you don't actually want to be playing an all-spell deck for Yogg in the box, because casting only 5 cost or more spells makes it more likely that you're going to hit Wheel of Death.
Yeah, I did think, like I said earlier, I think we're going to see more Wheel of Deaths than even the meme people think we are. But I didn't expect them to cast Wheel of Death and then draw 3 cards into their empty board on 6 health. That's it. We're done. That's it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We can't beat that. So let's have a quick look at Pocket Train's next game. I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, we're going to send me your arms. Okay. Have a look what this one is.
Please say, just don't spill it.
They'll defeat an undead king.
I always forget I have to stop spectating the one person first before I go over to the other.
Okay, let's see what she's playing.
So this appears to be a Raza Priest.
Right, so you started talking about this earlier, and I cut you off like I do a lot. Can you talk us through a little bit more about how this works and why you think it might work and why you might think it might be powerful?
Yeah, so I think it'll take a while to settle on, the exact right build, but what can make this particularly powerful is the new Raza gives your hero power the effect of refreshing every time you play a card. So previously that was tied to Shadow Reaper Anduin. Now the Raza gives you that refresh, and then if you can get a damaging hero power from, say, Reno Lone Ranger, you now have the ability to, every time you play a card, refresh your Arcane Bullet or whatever bullet hero power. So with things like Papercrafter, which makes your hero power cost 0, and Sing-Along Buddy, which makes your hero powers activate twice, you have potential to just do these machine gun hero power turns, particularly with the setup of the other Priest Legendary, who gives you an extra turn.
Yeah, that seems like it's not even particularly high APM required. It'll be higher than I'm capable of probably, but that's of course I'm old. But yeah, a whole 75 seconds to just shoot your opponent down seems like a fairly straightforward thing to do once you've set it up. So the only problem is going to be setting it up, which for Send Me Your Arms right now is proving to be a problem. She has a handful of things that aren't going to save her here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely survivability is the main thing. She has, drawn the pieces in terms of Raza and Reno, but it's a matter of finding the opportunity to play them. I think, she is maybe playing a little bit defensively here. I would be of the opinion that as soon as you can get Raza down, you should probably play it, and that would have been one of the best opportunities to do so.
I'm very surprised how popular Warlock is. Just shows how much I've got my finger on the pulse of what other people are enjoying.
People want to play Wheel of Death. I don't know.
Oh,
Although actually, this one might not be a Wheel of Death deck. There's a couple of table flips. There's Popgar. There's Sargeras, Aziliax. Might just be a control Warlock.
Yeah. Yeah, when people are asking to see handlock, that's what I was expecting to see, is that sort of stuff. The Wheel of Death coming out. Of course, if you watch me play on day 1, you'll see Sludge Warlock, because I won't do it on day 1. Not on stream. But, I'm unimaginable. And I like 5/6s that do 5 damage to my hero. So I can play 0 mana 5/5s with them.
And we've curved right into the Reno turn. So that's going to come down. So now all that's left is to start, pinging down with hero powers. It's going to be quite relevant which bullet is rolled each turn, because, if you get the armor one and you get to refresh that a whole bunch, you can gain a whole bunch of armor back. With a minion in play, this one makes that more dangerous because you keep buffing it. So there's lots of variations. And of course, if you ever roll Arcane Bullet, then that refreshes 2 mana crystals. So you basically have a free hero power. And combined with Paper Crafter that makes your hero power 0, you're basically just printing mana. I mean,
Just a reminder that we are doing drops through the day, or giveaways. Sorry, I keep saying drops. Giveaways through the day. Just be active in chat. Up to you to work out what that means, but you will be drawn from all the other active users, and we will let people know via DM whether they won or not. It's a compromise based on what we were saying before about people, you know, not really wanting to do fastest finger first. So that's what we got this time about. There we go. Everyone's active in chat now.
Low in price, high in fun.
now this
Just
is
as a reminder,
probably...
we're not going to message everyone that didn't win, no.
This one is probably the worst bullet to get, is the Fell bullet, because I think there's going to be a lot of situations where you don't actually want to draw that many cards with the hero power, because you'll have a pretty full hand already. So that one can be tough to use multiple times in a turn. Alright, and Matcha Dog is playing Wheel of Death. So I think that's why there was all the turbo draw, was to make that happen.
Get down to just the 5 cards in deck as well.
You know, I would like to see a Crafter's Aura on this turn, just to get minion summoning every turn. But...
Okay.
Oh no! Not sure she read that one.
Yeah, it's a habit, right? You shoot first, ask questions later with Vino, but you know, like you say.
Or just, you know,
Doesn't care.
primarily focus on the damage, don't care. I do think it's going to be tough to settle on, like, a final list for this deck. Here we see the wheel plus Phantom combo again. Oh, and with the location, that is pretty impressive. Although up against Priest, there's plenty of ways of dealing with that.
Yeah, I don't know whether the location. This is what we were saying earlier about it being a while before we get the perfect 30. Is the location really necessary here? I realise that 2 15s is nice and all that, and it's something you just jam onto the board to get out your hand. But one of those
Well, it
cards
can be
that
nice
is interesting.
early on. You know, with the 4 mana 7/7 taunts, that can be a great way of stabilizing in sort of the mid game. Play location on 3, 4 mana 7/7 taunt on 4, and you get a rushing 7/7.
It is an incredibly powerful card, the location. I personally suspect, and this is just my own humble opinion, it won't make it through the year without some sort of week. On the other side of it, it is, you know, play a card, miss a go on turn 3. So, you know.
Ooh. The Careless Crafter is actually quite nice, not for the fact that the bandages heal, but just that there's 0 mana cards that you can use to refresh the hero power.
Yes. Yeah, I totally missed that first time around. I was sort of reading through, I was looking for these Raza Priest cards that people kept talking about. I'm like, what's this 3 mana thing that doesn't do anything? But yeah, of course, 0 mana cards, good in Hearthstone, always. Somehow, somewhere, someone will make them work.
And something that you could potentially do rather than using the Reno hero power is just say, okay, I've got a refreshing heal hero power now, and you can build something of an overheal priest to just try and OTK with Adonis that deals 5 damage whenever it's overhealed. And so you've got his 0 cost bandages, you've got your refreshing hero power, you can still have Paper Crafter to make it free, and so that's another way that you can kind of turn your hero power into damage.
Oh, goodness. Reminder the people in chat saying that you know, wheel is now amazing and suddenly we were all wrong. People are playing against other test decks at the moment, so there's no proof here. But certainly, I'm surprised it at least looks like a card that you can try and make a deck with. I've already upgraded it from useless to interesting, at least.
Yeah, and a lot of times people aren't as into trying aggro. So
Yes.
I suspect, you know, Wheel of Death may struggle when it faces the threat of Leroy Wind Fury.
Yeah. And just sludge lock. Just kill you really quickly in this sort of deck. But again, the 7/7s with the location might be enough to stave that off even. We'll see.
It is. Oh, that's nice that the Reno effect goes away and then the aura activates. That's kind of. I wouldn't expect it to necessarily work that way, but. Yeah, it seems like if you can have these poof clears available for post wheel, that does increase your odds of pulling it off pretty substantially. And unfortunately, Smarms was not able to find, you know, a lot of those cheap ways of refreshing the hero power. I think, you know, the way that I have in my own theory crafting built this deck is such that you have enough dragons to activate the take an extra turn card. So that and it costs 5, so you can. There's a 5 mana 4/6 dragon. Battlecry. If you've played 5 dragons this game, take an extra turn after this one. So you play that. Papercrafter is a 3 mana 2/5 that makes your hero power cost 0. Sing Along Buddy is a 2 mana 1/4 that makes your hero power activate twice. And then you've got a full turn to just play a bunch of cheap spells and kill the opponent.
And your opponent's wheel won't tick down because it's the end of their turn. So they just don't
Yeah.
have a turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's going to be fun. We're going to see 2 wheel wins. Oh, this is going to be awful for my accent.
We are being a little spoiled here on the wheel animation.
On the upside, we get to see Reno catch fire and explode. So that's good. Kick. Amazing.
There it is.
Second one in an hour. Streaming for 1 hour and 2 Wheel of Time wins. I thought we wouldn't see that in the next year, Ador. I'm amazed that we've seen it twice already.
Now, I'll be truly amazed if we see it at the next Masters Tour.
Fair, yeah, which is not
That's the
that
real
long.
test.
I don't know if we've got the exact timescale for it, but it will be sometime fairly soon. This is the second qualifying month, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it survives that long. But that's the first hour done, so we're just going to have a very quick break while we swap over who is looking at the games, and we'll be back with you in just a minute or two. So hang on there. Hey, professional streamer, everybody. Just muted. Yeah, so told you it wouldn't be long. Now I have Sottle alongside me, which will be a tortuous hour for me, I'm afraid. But hey, let's see what Sottle has to say. Tossle, Wheel of Time, what's going to happen?
Wheel of Time, yeah, I mean, it's put in an incredible performance so far against what, a mirror, a whiz-bang deck, and a very, very slow build of Raza Priest. But even then, I would have expected even those decks to be able to beat Wheel of Death if you'd have asked me about it coming into this. So it's already outperformed my expectations, but we'll have to wait and see if it will keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to call it Wheel of Time for the end of eternity. If I try and behave myself and not call it Wheel of Pizza, then I'm just going to get it wrong forever, I'm afraid. So I've got to be careful there. So the key is to not be careful. Just call it Wheel of Pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm happy to go with that.
Okay, going to Heart Queen, see what she's up to. There's always this little pause while the casters find the game. We're watching it ourselves rather than through Raven, so excuse that.
Yeah, we have the incredible 2024 technology cooking over here.
Okay, it's Pirate Rogue, which seems to have been a popular choice. Hasn't seemed completely and utterly off the wall nutty like I thought it would be, but obviously looks pretty powerful.
Yeah, my feeling with this so far is that the strong synergies look strong, and the problem people are having is like the engine, the core of the deck around that, right? Like people talked about the gifts with 4 deadly poisons as soon as that kind of synergy was announced with the 0 mana cards. We saw a bit of that from Pocket Train. I think that was the game where the Yogbox blew themselves up with the Wheel of Death, right, on the other side. Yeah. So we've seen a little bit of the power level of Rogue coming out. There's definitely high potential. There is a lot of cards with incredibly powerful text on them. It's just a matter of whether the deck itself can come together. And I have high hopes for Rogue, honestly. I think it will be one of the real contenders in this set.
Yeah, and again, I'll keep on about it all day. I'll keep on about it as well, because that's what I do when I start on something. But this is nowhere near a well-formed deck yet, and also there's restrictions for this stream. They have to play at least 10 new cards. Not that in Rogue they won't play 10 new cards, because all the pirates are new. But yeah, there's several things that will change that. Of course, on the other side, you don't necessarily have to play against the toughest decks either, so aggro will always look pretty good on these streams, I think, on opening day.
Yeah, aggro will always look pretty good, but I think aggro will also always be underrepresented on these streams on opening day. And I don't think, the people who are playing the Rogue aren't really playing it as an aggro deck. They're playing it just for all the bouncing and 0 mana card and mana cheat stuff that it has going on instead. So we'll wait and see. But I do think this is an interesting thing to look at, because we now are allegedly looking at a slower Warlock going up against something which should be quicker than it, but the Warlock does still just seem to have the board on turn 6. So.
Yeah. Double Defile is a thing that the Warlock has as well, so it might take a little while for this Rogue to actually get something going. And I think we've seen it every time with Rogue, that because people have jammed their deck full of pirates, there's not that much card draw. The card draw is more card creation. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, that's part of what I was talking about earlier with like getting the engine right around it. Yeah. I think we saw, one game sample size, Fino seemed to gas out super hard with the Rogue when we were watching Fino very early on. So yeah, definitely bits and pieces that need to be done to refine the list for sure, as there always is. We are on day minus something right now. It's not even day 1, it's not even day 0. We are several days away from this expansion even being a thing. So this is called theory crafting because it is theory crafting. We're going to get more questions than answers coming out of this stream, and that's the way we like it.
I was trying to think of anything at all to reply to that with, and this is all I have. There you go. Nothing. A whole bunch of nothing.
Thanks. I'm glad you're earning your paycheck here.
Yeah, absolutely. Warlock does have a giant number of good removal options, doesn't it? I hadn't quite factored in how many removal options Warlock has if you just put them all in a deck and play a wheel.
Yes. Yeah, that turn 8 is still the one, right? Like, you need to specifically have the 15/15 taunt to go along with it, or else I think you are just going to die most times you have that turn 8 play. So yeah, we'll see. Again, like I said, I don't think Wheel of Death Warlock has done a lot so far in terms of the stuff that it's had to beat, but I I will already concede that is overperforming what I thought it would be able to do. So we'll wait and see.
I think the thing that's made it overperform for me, I'm going to talk about it because it's on our screen all the time at the moment, is there's 4 or 5 cards. There's Symphony, there's Reno, there's the Titan. There's a couple of others that you can have in your hand when you play the wheel that are good the next turn.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, just by default, 2 or 3 of those in your hand accidentally. You don't have to have all of them, though obviously it's nice. You don't have to draw all of your deck unless the wheel's the bottom card. So you're always going to have some backup for it at the end. And I hadn't quite realised how good that might be.
Yeah, anyway, meanwhile, we're looking more of the big big Warlock package that we're looking at, more of a handlock type thing going on. Very, very retro with Doomguard in there as well, of course, hitting you right in the nostalgia bone. With the modern stuff thrown in as well, Symphony, for example. But, Warlock is certainly looking like it has a few good tools.
Yeah, I mean, the Rogue is just pretty much done here.
Yeah, same thing. Same Pheno issue, right? Just gassed out. Like, they've had a couple of powerful turns where they've made a couple of powerful boards. They got a deadly poison thing going, but that wasn't even particularly impressive. And yeah, now here we are, just kind of gassed out and not really being able to face down the resources that the slower decks are putting together.
Something I've noticed with the Sandbox Scoundrel, which, I think is universally regarded as looking incredibly good, having not played the card. Everybody seems to have so many cheap cards in their deck. They're not getting a lot of value from that reduced 3. Not the huge amount. It's reduced 6 basically. Not the huge amount you might expect. I wonder if making the Rogue a little bit bigger with that Scoundrel and maybe thinning the Pirate package would be a way you could go.
Yeah, very possible. But there we go. Another victory picked up for Warlock. Slightly different build of it that time, like I said, with the bigger demons and stuff coming out, using some of those demon tutor effects, summon effects. And the Doomguard in there to finish things off, which, I don't know about you, Neil. I'm not overly eager to get back to which cards does my Doomguard discard meta, but certainly a thing that, even though I've had many competitive experiences with frustrating moments with early Soulfire and Doomguard interactions, I think Soulfire and Doomguard are cards that a lot of people have some fond attachment for, right? Like, early Zoo, I think it becomes about as iconic a deck in Hearthstone history as anything, right?
I always do.
Well, I mean, you saw what I played for 3 weeks. I'm quite excited to be discarding cards with my Doomguard because they do 4 damage to my opponent's head now.
That's
so
fair, yeah, that is very fair.
that seems reasonable to me, honestly. We're going to have a look at what Ike is up to.
And speaking of nostalgia, we're already getting it in the chat where every question of who invented X is being answered with Reynad, which is the correct response when we're dealing with Doomguards on our screen. Reynad did, in fact, invent Doomguard, so we can feel free to bow down to the OGs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ike, quite a blast from the past as well, really, these days. Not quite 10 years, but... Oh, Ike's playing Rogue. Behave yourself, people. I trust him to have the perfect 30, though, don't you?
Ah!
I trust him to tell us he's got the perfect 30.
Yes, yeah, for sure. In Ike's mind, Ike certainly has the perfect 30, I'm sure.
Okay, so Rogue versus Rogue. We've seen Rogue up against some sort of chunky taunts and things so far, or some massive removal. Let's see how the mirror pans out. Again, curious to see how those reductions take place. How much mana people can get out of it.
Yo, ambushes?
Yeah.
We ambushing?
In that way. There's gear shifts in here as well. Just getting used to looking at cards upside down again, because I was expecting to look at Ike's side, but the other side's far more interesting right now.
Yeah, it is. It is a tough one, for sure. We get spoiled by the incredible technology of region capture, flip upside down.
Yeah, when you don't recognize all of the pictures, even that doesn't help.
Bargain Bin Buccaneer, by the way, does look like one of the strongest just vanilla cards in Rogue. I've talked a lot already about, some of these cards have obviously really promising synergies. But you know, double 3/2 rush just seems like, yep, that's a card. I'm on
just
board.
trolley problem, kinda, without the upside / downside. It'll do.
Yeah. Yep. Plus some pirate synergy.
Yeah. Not seen anyone play the location yet. Again, I sort of felt like the only person who thought that wasn't terrible. And then Adel sort of joined in saying, well, yeah, you could do this with it. I'm thinking, yeah, that's what I've been saying too. So
Wait,
now I know
which
I'm correct.
location?
The rogue location that the next minion you summon
Mm-hmm.
becomes a 4/4. But the
Yeah,
weapon
that's okay.
summons minions. There's other things that just summon a minion.
Yeah. Rogue has some stuff with like the battleground scallywag effect now as well, right? Where like attack something immediately, so you can summon that, have it turn into a 4/4, attack something immediately. There's some stuff with it for sure.
It's not huge. It's not amazing. I'm not claiming it's the best card in the set, but I'm surprised we're not seeing more people at least play around with it to see how good a 4/4 is. It's the old investment thing, right? The first one is just not worth it. You pay 3 for the location, then you play a 4/4, and you're like, oh, that was a bit rubbish.
Absolute infestation, yeah.
The ultimate infestation.
I did enjoy on the card reveal stream, Fino, Pocket, Jambray, and Banterface, where if you want to convince Fino a card is good, like he'll look at a card and go, nah, it's not good, that I'll never see play. Just make up a number about how much mana it actually spends, and then he'll pretend he likes it. That's all you have to do. It's really easy.
Seems good.
Yeah.
I just want to see the first person to start putting chunky things in Rogue. Some top end.
God, look at all these people that are active in chat, Lorinda. It's incredible.
Wow, there are a lot of active people in the chat, aren't there?
I've never seen so many people active in chat.
I can't think. Why would that be, do you think, Sottle?
Well, it might have something to do, and we've segued into this so organically that we are doing a bunch of Mega Bundle giveaways on this stream. If you've been around these streams in the past, you'll know that we've just dropped them in chat. And although we are all very confident that those have all gone into humans, we understand that it's, the perception is a bit weird of bots or whatever else. So we have actually set up a system to automate the process. All you have to do is be active in chat, which means just type any message you want, essentially. And about once an hour or so, give or take, bit of leeway, we will do a drawing and a winner will be contacted in private.
And you don't need to be the activist of them all. You just need to be there once or twice, because otherwise this will happen, and then we'll just tell you all off and stop doing giveaways, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, there are bonus points if you make your messages like interesting and relevant, and you spark like engaging discussion in the chat. There, you do get entered harder for that. You don't. That's not true at all. But no one can stop me from lying. Lying is fun. Cody Rhodes taught me how to lie.
But you digress, right?
I digress. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to be giveaway Jones over here, then all you have to do is be active in chat.
I've enjoyed this thoroughly already. Okay, so the first person has won a giveaway. That's Graham CA. They've been contacted and given their code via DM. So congratulations to them. And there will be more as we go on through the evening. And that is a name I recognise from Twitch chats around the world as well.
Yeah, same. When I saw it pop up, I was like, oh, a person that I know. It was nice.
Anyway, let's finish the story of this match at the moment. Looks like Ike is starting to get control on the board and do chunky damage.
Yeah, a lot of value out of the treasure distributors, kind of arms dealer for pirates, right? If you want a very easy comparison, just getting massive value out of all of these deck hands, building up a massive board. Not sure how much we had available there if we just started shipping deck hands face, by the way. I don't know if we can rewind and check the tapes on that one. Probably board space limited, I would imagine. But yeah, certainly a ton of value out of the distributors.
Wisdom Ball will get us out.
Yep. And don't worry about it, chat. No one knows how this card works. If you say you do, you're lying.
And if you watch any card reviews, it just makes it worse, not better. Like, I thought I had an idea how it might work until I started watching people say how they thought it might work, and now I just don't know. Something about generating a pool of cards, and some of them are used and some of them aren't, and we'll see what happens. Pew pew.
So I think the problem we've had with this is, so there's a pool of spells that can cast anything from that pool of spells, right? Like that much we know. But there was kind of a common conception of how it was going to work, and then some people got to play with it in Arena because they did the thing with the pre-launch in Arena, right, for the last 24 hours or so. So some people have played with it in Arena and then kind of reported things that are contrary to what we were expecting to happen. So now everyone's very confused.
And it's Fireball Face when
It's Fireball Face, which does
Leap on the board.
absolutely nothing. It is
Literally 13 facing.
technically helpful, though. You can't argue that doing
not.
damage to your opponent is helpful.
Except when you're on the 13 and they have 13 on the board.
That's still helpful.
You know what I do trust, though? And I'm going to put them on the spot here. I do trust Celestalon to fiddle with the Wisdom Ball until it does what the Celestalon wants it to do. Specifically, I have no idea if this is true or not, by the way, but yeah. After the Zephyrs, which was constant feedback and making it do exactly how Celestalon wants it to work, I think we'll see that again. No pressure, devs, but you know.
I would love it, by the way, if it was all a giant bit, right? And they revealed all these cards. Oh, I could cast Arcane Missiles, or Blizzard, or Polymorph. It casts a helpful spell every turn. And then the joke is it actually just fireballs your opponent in the face every single turn. There's no coding, no algorithm, nothing. Just fireball to the face every single turn, because that's helpful. I'm on board with that.
That would be brilliant. Yeah. Like the card that says you need to do lethal damage to draw a card, and I just read it as a joke, as you just kill your opponent and you get a card. Just figured they were playing with us, but no, it actually does something. Alright, what to see, Funky Monkey?
Thank you for the reiteration, because I did not hear it the first time.
Ah, some Demon Hunter. This is what I was looking forward to. And I was looking forward to it because of Window Shopper. In conjunction with the weapon, which is currently in play. Window Shopper, first of all, the weapon. So the Death Rattle, draw a minion, reduce its cost by 2. Window Shopper, 5 mana, 6/5, miniaturize. Battle Cry, discover a demon, set its stats and cost equal to this minion's. So what that means is that if you draw it from the weapon for 3 mana, you get a 3 mana 5/6 and another 3 mana 5/6 and a 1 mana 1/1 and another 1 mana 1/1. And the discovers will give you good death rattles, they'll give you good effects. I think it's a lot of stuff.
Well, then you must be like a kid in a candy store right now.
I am.
Exactly what we're about to see happen.
Yep.
How does this cost modification work, do we think? When you set stats and cost to this minions, it's discounted until it's in play, and then once it's in play, it usually goes back to base cost, native cost, right? So I'd imagine it still costs 5, right? The thing that you discover?
I think it's going to cost 3.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll wait and see.
Because I don't think it resolves as 5 until the card's resolved. But I might be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong, and I'll be very disappointed. But I'm still looking forward to it. Even at 5, it'll be fine, but at 3, it's going to be fine. And obviously, the weapon says about demons, you just put a very small number of demons in your deck. And again, there's a Raging Fell Screamer in hand here for Funky Monkey.
Sorry, just giggling to myself because I just saw Derek's recent message in chat. I almost went there, but it was so hard to do PG that I just left it alone and just figured chat would figure it out on their own, you know?
I mean, you don't need to. I make my jokes so clear anyway. You don't really need to elaborate on them. Oh, we're reducing mechs as well? Okay.
Yeah, we're all aboard the tram.
Got it.
Actually haven't spec'd a Katsu yet, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on the top end. There we go. Everything's solved. So looks pretty similar to Buzzard Dog decks that we saw in the last couple of expansions. It's just, of course, the addition of the Triple Animal Companion card, which looks like a great addition to me. Otherwise, nothing too spectacular going on. Has the weapon equipped, of course, remote control as well.
Yeah, in Hunter, I'm looking forward to seeing Jungle Jim, one of the best named cards ever.
It is quite good.
Alongside the rampaging dogs, and just shoot your opponent for 6 damage on turn 4 for no reason, or clear their board or whatever. And I want to see if that deck becomes a viable thing. I think it will, but I think a lot of things. Why are they roping it every turn? Because they probably have to read their cards and try and remember what their opponent's cards do. Because it's 1 hour and 25 minutes since anyone got to play with the cards outside of Arena. Imagine that's powerful. The second cutest doggo, by the way, these in the whole of the new set. They're
Is it
pretty cute.
even second? Yeah, I guess it is second. Yeah. What are they actually
Just
called?
not-
RC Hounds. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Great. Play the 3-drop because I want to know if the other one costs 3. Thanks. It's important.
That tower was made just
Still
for
3, still
me.
3, still 3, still 3. At the end of your turn. Yeah. 3!
It is 3. Okay.
Yeah.
The
And
fact
yeah,
that they're reading and responding to questions in chat is impressive. I agree. We're fantastic. There should
Aren't
be
we
more
just?
talk in chat about how fantastic we are.
Yep.
Talking about how
Especially-
fantastic me and Lorinda are increase your chances of being selected for the giveaways. That's not
Yep.
true. That's a lie. Lying is fun.
Yeah. I like this part where we get to lie as long as we admit it. It's okay.
it's a good bit. I'm happy with this bit.
Here's Jungle Gym. See, it's a gym, right? But it's in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's where the animals do their workout.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, Jungle Gym.
It's not friends with 65 million-year-old dinosaurs, though, of course, because then it would be Jungle Jack.
Uh-huh. Yes, it would. Ah.
But I digress.
Yeah. Stop making other people scapegoat in this situation and just shoot with your Jungle Gym. How much damage did that go face? Like, all of it?
All of it, yeah.
Because obviously the mathematically correct thing to do wasn't that, but hey, if they're all going to go face, then sure, do it.
Yeah, I've seen mixed opinions, even mixed opinions from the hunter specialists on the Jungle Gym and the Hounds combo, right? There is the 1-2 punch of just being able to summon that full board immediately and just shoot a bunch of damage. Some people were just like, yeah, it's just a board and a ton of damage if we hit the curve. That's kind of exactly what hunters want. And some people just kind of have been a little bit underwhelmed with the total package of what it offers.
Red card, by the way, in here, as the Demon Hunt does explode here for the Magtherodon, but also just a organically
Which card?
good card. Like 1 mana makes something go dormant for 2 turns. That
They're
can get
all-
a lot of damage done, and it can make your thing go dormant for 2 more turns, because you don't want it to undormant, ever.
But they're all green, aren't they? They're Demon Hunter cards. Which card?
Red card. Oh, I see. Yeah, cool. Well done. God damn.
I had to. I literally had to. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to watch Clark now.
Yeah, I'm sure Clark has got something cooking for us. He tends to.
Let's have a look quickly. It does sound like it's Reno Warlock.
I was gonna say, if I was a betting man, I'd put quite a lot of money on Wheel of Death being the card
Yeah,
of
the best
choice
YouTube
for Clark.
content available. Let's see what Ruffle is playing before we decide whether to treat you to another wheel game. Oh, actually, it's
Oh well, we're in the end game anyway, so
yeah,
if
we can
nothing
watch
else.
this.
I know there was a lot of demand early on for Warlock games, but would
Yeah.
we largely agree, chat room, that we have had our fill of Warlock for a while and we can dig out some other stuff? Is that a hot take? Is that a controversial opinion? Or are we
If
on
it's
board?
Possible, Sottle. It might just be that
It may be
everyone's
literally
playing Warlock.
every player is just playing Warlock.
Yeah, Raven's confirming that so many people are playing Warlock right now.
Never, no it's not. Okay. Bunch of Warlock enjoyers in chat. Oh no.
So many things that I say naturally just sound great now that wheel is a big thing. Like highlight wheel. Yeah, we can do that. We can do so many things. They've saved me.
There's a couple of
my-
cards in this expansion that are absolute curses for you though.
There are. There really are. There are R's everywhere. I can't remember the name of it. One of them I got wrong like 4 times in the set review and just gave up. I'm just going to call it Bob from now when I see it again.
Is that the Roffle? It is the Roffle, indeed.
Yeah.
Current Hearthstone World Champion, Roffle.
Yeah, Sottle is waffling away.
It's so
Raven says that he has found, and I quote, a shaman.
And I clarify extra hard. This is a quote from Raven. I'm still not going to pronounce it wrong, even quoting Raven, by the way. I refuse.
Uh-huh. Let's not have this discussion again. People are bored of it. No one wants to
I
talk
don't think-
about how we say the word shaman.
I don't think they are.
It's been 10 years. We're going down nostalgia routes. I guess we can talk about shaman.
Look, without the shaman discussion, what does Raven have, really? Like, we've got to try and keep him relevant.
fast here.
Control of the stream is the
Yeah.
answer we got. Yeah, okay.
He did just whisper lovingly in my ear, control of the stream.
Thanks, Marvin. What's happening?
What's going on? I did
just-
hear
oh,
rumours that Clark was having some internet issues, so I don't know if that's what's going on here. Oh, it was just the last turn anyway? It was
Oh,
just
maybe
the
it's-
last turn anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah. Clark. All right, you are now banned from this stream. That's
Yep.
a lie, but lying's fun.
Okay. I'm going to see Chris. Oh, right.
Chris 05, we're going to the Shaman Garma.
Let's have a look. So the shaman archetype I'm expecting to see would be big shaman, right? With control cards like the new volcano card and such like. Big control-y shamans. And there we go. Baking soda volcano, pack the house. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Star.
join as a Reno is jammed on the board. Yeah, classic stuff. Of course, one of the cards that a lot of people are excited about or terrified of, depending on how you want to phrase it, Shudderblock. Shudderwock, one of the most divisive cards. Is that the word in Hearthstone history?
Divisive? Didn't everybody pretty much like it?
No. I say that as someone that did quite like it. Absolutely not. No.
Oh, so this is interesting because obviously got the horn to get rid of the minion, but it's the testing dummy that does 8 damage, randomly split against your opponent's face if they only have no minions. So you know.
Yep. And of course, the abilities to resummon, the ability to multi-proc, lots of ways to interact with death rattles in the warrior deck.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's gonna be one of those decks that it needs a little more support. Is how it looks, but then the fact there isn't that much more support makes me suspicious that somebody knows how it's built already back in head office. And it's actually
Right.
fine. What do we think of Wish Upon a Star, Sottle? It's 7 mana, do nothing this turn, unless you've got a board already, but it is a monstrous card if you can get it through a couple of times.
Yeah, I think it's just too much mana personally. But again, you know, day negative, whatever, and nothing is certain. Certainly, if you do have access to enough removal to get value over time out of that, but then you also have to ask the question of like, how many minions are you playing through turns 1 to 6 before you even get to that point that then aren't in your hand deck and battlefield anymore because they'll likely have been cleared largely. Just seems like a little bit too much mana for me, but it's a terrifying effect to make cheap in your deck, right? So I would understand erring on the side of caution.
Like, I tend to not really appreciate the value of buff cards, and this one scares me. So it's big. This buffs so many things.
I think I found the perfect chat message.
Go on.
Active, I love commentators, I want bundle and have fun. 0 notes.
Yep. We can't just change who wins because of that. But yeah, thank you for that comment. That's a perfect note. Yeah. One thing that's been apparent today through a lot of these games is how you really can't miss lethal these days, can you? Because if you do, your opponents can just get out of it so easily. Like, there were a few years where if you miss lethal by 1 damage, but you've got the board and your opponent sort of has 8 mana but a few cards in hand, they just didn't do anything, you killed them next turn. But like the Pheno, the first game of the night against the Druid, like, people went down really low and then all the way back to 30 so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think in particular, I don't know how much Paladin will see during this event, just because, you know, generally Paladin isn't a class that experienced players who are streamers and invited to do this kind of thing. It's not necessarily a class that they're super excited to play. But I do think that idea of just being unkillable is right in the wheelhouse for Paladin right now, right? Like, they have so much lifesteal. Deputization Aura is absurd. They have more ways now to leverage that. It even has synergies now with a few extra cards, like first part of Tarim, for example, where you want to be buffing your own board. You can put it on the far left under your Deputization Aura, and I would imagine it picks up the buff from the Aura first and then buffs your minion afterwards, which is kind of crazy. So with all of that lifesteal that they have and the ability to either play control style and just stall out, live forever, control you out of the game, or just live forever to set up some kind of Leroy Wind Fury combo or Deckhand Wind Fury combo in the late game, like, either of those things are very possible. So I'm kind of scared that Paladin might actually be kind of real this expansion.
Yeah, I've heard Antiface say something like that as well, and what I haven't heard said, but is implied in both of your comments, is that the lifesteal effect kind of costs 0. It's not like you're paying through the nose to get all this lifesteal stuff going.
No.
It's just got lifesteal tagged onto a lot of the cards just kind of for free. So, yeah, that's why it's so scary.
Looks like we're hanging out with Chris 05 again. Which is good. I'm down to see this deck from the start, going up against Roffle, who we did just see get blown up by Clark earlier with the Wheel of Death.
Yep, and Chris with a pretty nice looking curve. I know that Turn the Tides isn't technically a curve card, but it's kind of the card you want on 3 with this start to just make sure your totem lives for as long as possible. Oh, hey! There he is.
Your next battle cry triggers 3 times, but can't damage the enemy hero. So again, my understanding, and I will just say my understanding of how this functions, is it literally looks for the word damage in the battle cry. So if the battle cry has the literal word damage printed in it ever in the text that applies to the battle cry, it doesn't work. It can't damage the enemy hero. If it doesn't say the word damage, but does deal damage to the opponent's hero through some other auxiliary means, it will work. That is my understanding of how that card works, just to get it out of the way immediately.
I'm looking forward to see which things just happen here. Like, which things just happen to damage your opponent that I've forgotten exist.
We got the
Stitch, by the way, is I think a card. I know this was generated by, but I think the mage might have to play this in their minionless decks. 4 mana, deal 4, make a minion of any kind.
First things first, shout out to whoever wrote the name for that card, because that is a incredibly satisfying multi. Like, it's a perfect multi-syllable rhyme. Well done, congratulations. We're all very happy with you. Secondly, yeah, on the topic of Spell Mage in general, how do we feel about it, Neil?
It looks like if you can get to turn 7, then you're going to be incredibly well set. But how on earth do you get there? Is how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Because if you go look at the spells for, like, the early turns, there's really a lot there that stops your opponent just running over you from turns like 1 to 4, for example. So I'm a little bit scared that it's an archetype that might need a little bit more help as things go on. But, you know, that tends to happen. This is, I think, the first time we've done one of these events where we're going into a full rotation, right? So the landscape is a bit different in terms of what we're talking about, where quite often we have an idea of what the meta is, plus these new cards that we're looking at. This time with a complete reset, it's going to be entirely different. And it also, we now create this thing with the design of the game over the next 2 years, where sometimes the initial sets plant seeds, And then over the next few expansions, they push an archetype a little bit further until it becomes successful. And my read on day minus whatever is that that's where Mage is landing for me right now.
Wait until we see them draw a weapon on 2, like 7 or 8 games in a row, and then we might have a different opinion about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keyboard exists and is the easiest counter argument to everything that I'm saying right now, for sure.
And that's why I think the cross stitch is actually a really good card. I saw a lot of low reviews given to it, but it's 4 mana, kill a thing, make a thing in a deck that isn't allowed to make a thing. So
Yeah, the problem comes when it doesn't kill a thing, though, right? Then it's a disaster. If it can't kill a thing and it's the card that's in your hand, then you're having a terrible time.
yeah, sure. Or you're doing 4 damage to your opponent and making a 4/4 with your weapon. I don't know. It'll be okay. It'll work out. I mean, it is an archetype that I hope is fringe. Watching your opponent yog endlessly for weeks on end is not necessarily a fun time. Watching them do it sometimes is a lot more fun. Watching them do never, again, it's back to not being very fun. So if it's on the fringe, if it's tier 2, tier 3, maybe that's just where that sort of deck kind of can live and exist in everyone's happy spot. Okay, so we're under a Shudderwock.
We are.
What Chris is going to do with it.
We shuddering.
Oh, we're making lots of elementals for 7 mana. Oh no. Oh, we're waiting? Okay, sure.
Fine, I guess. Oh, where did that 1 damage come from?
That's a
Messmaker. Lifesteal, Taunt, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Okay, cool.
Here we go. Make some elementals.
Big one.
Yeah, because you haven't got the space to put all the others anyway, so just keep saying big one, I think.
Big
I'm
one.
sure you'll enjoy that thoroughly.
Other big one. We did it.
Oh. We've got Cauliflower the Artist in hand now with a mini shudder. Does that break anything at this point? I mean, the answer is probably yes. I just don't know what.
Yes! I am very excited about the prospect, yeah. Okay, just going to drop it. Interesting. I would have... Yeah, I was kind of into it. Well, no, actually, no, it doesn't work like that, right? Because it's draw a minion. No, we're doing it backwards. It's not select a minion, it's draw a minion. So the 1 minion you can't get is the Shudder block.
And it only works... Yeah, okay, sure. Boo.
So this is the right thing to do. The 1 minion in your hand that you actually care about using the effect of is the mini Shudder block. So you want to get that out and played first. You could now potentially Cauliflower for draw 3, but I think more likely is that you Calamos for So this, for example, Calamos Primal Lord, this does not say damage anywhere in the text. But the elemental invocations can do damage. So by my understanding, this is one of the ones that could work. However, there was no elemental actually played last turn. So you have to spend this turn playing an elemental, and then next turn, you're good. The problem is, the other elemental in your hand is also a battle cry. So we're having a bad time.
We paid 8 mana for some cats and to do damage to one of our own minions. It's great.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I was paying 0 attention to what the mage was just doing. I was way more excited about these battle cry OTK potentials over here.
I was paying no attention to what you were saying and just laughing at the Yogg being terrible again. So it's a fair swap.
Yeah, well, it's a day that ends in Y, so Lorinda is paying 0 attention to what I'm saying, despite it being useful and accurate.
I think chat seemed to like us today anyway. I can't think why, but there are still drops available. There are giveaways for active chatters, so, you know.
Oh, sorry, did I actually say cauliflower? Okay, it's done. You know, like Banana Man? It was just Banana Man forever. I'm sorry, it's just cauliflower forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, have never given cards nicknames, and that would be terrible.
No.
Actually, it probably would be terrible if I used them right now, but hey. There wasn't a lethal there with Bloodlust somehow.
Yeah, too many taunts, I think.
Yeah. But oddly, very little removal in hand as well that actually did anything useful.
So what got played that turn? Did an elemental get played that turn? I don't think so, right?
I'm going to guess yes, even though I have no idea. Because I was busy talking about what I wasn't talking about and ignoring you.
I feel like the only elementals in hand were these 3 that all have battle cries anyway, which would kind of mess the stuff up.
Wow. Mage actually pew-pewing everything. Oh, the Discover a Secret card's probably pretty good in this deck.
Is it?
Just because it fills time, right? Although Objection has gone, right? So...
Why? I haven't heard a compelling answer to why you just don't play a 3-mana secret in your deck.
Because in the spell deck, where your options are terrible, you might want to play a 1 and a 2 cost spells on different turns to fill your mana.
What to do?
Can't say I'm particularly into that argument. I am uncompelled.
Full Flunky. Giveaway winner.
Oh, we did it! Hey, yeah, full flunky. So giveaway number 2 has just happened behind the scenes. For those of you non-believers out there that think we are just baiting you into being nice to people to win things. No, it's actually happening. Full Flunky has won the 2nd giveaway of the stream so far and will be contacted in private with their mega bundle code.
Just an answer to a question in chat about, do the casters study up in card names before the streams? Shall we lie again or shall we tell the truth?
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Genuine answer, I do try and learn names. It's just, like, there are more important things to learn
Yes.
than what the cards are called. You know, interactions and possible strategies, and, you know, those are the things that I'm kind of more interested in and was what my wheelhouse of talking about.
And I mean, I play a huge amount of Hearthstone and can't remember my own name, so I spend more time remembering what the cards and interactions do than card names. And I don't mind admitting that I always have a list of card names on the screen next to me. So if I really, really struggle, I'll either make it up or I'll check the list.
How many bundles are being given? Roughly, give or take, bit of leeway, 1 an hour or so.
Well played.
That went kind of how I'd have expected it. Yoga's looked worse than I thought so far for the sample size of 2 that we've seen. One where it just blew itself up, which is going to happen a lot. But the one where it didn't blow itself up didn't look remarkable, did it? It literally created a board of 3 3s and 2 3s, and that was the turn.
Yeah, and I think that is part of my problem with the mage package is, so spot the difference, like 2/3 drops for 4 mana. Am I excited about doing that? Not really, no. And then some of the other cards, like even the payoffs, right? We saw, and I think Advice made the point excellently earlier, that because of the small pool, you're very likely to just cast Wheel of Death if you get to cast 5 spells that specifically cost 5 or more, which is going to get you in trouble a lot of the time. So yeah, I do think it might be one of those archetypes for just a little bit further down the line. A bigger pool of cards means a bigger pool of spells for you to pick from, and a bigger pool of spells for you to dodge some of the bad outcomes from the Yogg box later.
Yeah, but the good outcomes don't seem that great. Like, it's not just dodging the bad ones. It just seems like the good ones aren't particularly wonderful. So we shall see, though. Lear24 asks, how do I enter the giveaway? You just have. That's how. Make a meaningful comment in chat, and you will enter the giveaway. That's not a lie. We're watching up to see Kibler, who I would guess will have dragons in his deck, but I could be wrong.
Brian Kibler of Brian Kibler Gaming. That guy.
Yes, that's the one.
Unbelievable.
Kibler's playing Inventor Boom, in fact. So we're going to have the dummy damage combo going on here. Yeah, Wreckham and Deckham. Boom Wrench. Yeah, it's all that stuff that tries to activate the dummy and do 8 damage 1,000 times.
Multiple people have died to Wheel of Death. Yes, Wheel of Death has actually won 3 or 4 times. Like the actual Wheel of Death Warlock deck, and then we've also seen Mage Yogg boxes casting Wheel of Death and then immediately drawing cards to Fatigue and Death on the same turn. So, Wheel of Death has definitely been one of the stars of the show so far.
A view that isn't mine, I'm just going to pretend it is for a moment, about bot face. Remember when Dr. Boom first came out and no one really paid attention to how good boom bots were going to be?
Yep.
Bot face is going to get you 4 or 6 or 8 minis, and I don't think we've really looked at how good the minis are properly.
Oh, minis are fantastic. Yeah, if I was going to argue with you on that statement, it would be about that estimation of how many minis it gets you.
I mean, it's 2 per time it gets damaged, so we've got Aftershock and Bladestorm in our deck. It's sometimes.
Yeah, I think if you're actually interacting with it yourself, absolutely. You can get yourself a handful of minis for sure. But there is, of course, the potential with Reno in the game and with various other effects in the game. If you ever just have to put it on the board, you might get 0. And I think 0 is a number that you're not factoring into your average. It does cost 9, which makes it hard to interact with yourself on your own turn.
I don't think the card is good at all, but I just think it might be better than people. When it does its thing, I think it's better than people think it is. When it doesn't do its thing, which isn't very often, I think we're all agreed it's garbage.
Yeah. Does anyone else, by the way, Neil, you don't have to answer this. I know the answer is no for you. Whenever they look at the card quality assurance, just immediately think of Creed Bratton trying to remember what his job title is, or is that just me? Let me know, chat. If TJ was here, he'd back me up.
Can I say no anyway?
You can say no anyway.
Okay, no.
Yeah. I mean, we have upgraded. We can now talk about Scott Pilgrim and Peep Show. That's twice as many things as we could talk about as before. It's quite incredible. Yeah.
We're getting there. Just give me another 10 years of Hearthstone. I'll have watched 4 things that people watch. Yeah. Maybe. But I'll have forgotten the first 2, so maybe it won't be an upgrade at that point.
Shmiki, elusive is the new keyworded version of can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. It's exactly that same effect. They've just given it a keyword now, which is elusive.
Will any streamer show us the new Ziliax? I think we've seen it. We've definitely seen it twice. I feel like it's 3 or 4 times, but I can remember 2 for sure.
It was in your first hour shift. It was at least 3 times that we saw it. Yeah, it's been out a bunch. There you go. Yeah, Quabity, Qua something. I'm getting close. Exactly.
Also, just I know this is like a reminder and talk about things we've heard off stream. Oh, Reno?
Dual Reno! No! Put it away!
Dude,
I did not sign up for this trauma. Please put the Reno away.
Bot face. That's Sottle, not the card. Just a reminder, obviously, these people are streaming. If you see a deck that you'd like and you want to watch through the eyes of somebody that isn't us talking to chat and generally, just chilling out, go and watch them. We encourage you to go and watch these people who are streaming these decks. They're all live right now. So you can ask them questions directly. Otherwise, just chill here with us and we'll move around. Thanks to Raven's hunting for new things. He's managed to dodge the Warlocks for us for some time now.
Why is there a Reno on the board?
Huh?
I was thinking about this the other day. You know how, like, in Hearthstone vernacular, cards that heal you for a bunch are a Reno? Like, we've largely settled on that being a thing.
Yeah.
If you want to feel old,
Thanks.
think about the fact that there are there's like a whole school of like a whole generation of Hearthstone players that get confused by that statement, because to them, a Reno clears the board and transforms your hero. It doesn't heal you at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't actually understand what that means at all.
Oh.
Isn't that strange?
Also, we just had a whole discussion about how Paladin, heals all the time. Why is there a Reno? Every card heals you anyway. You don't need another one. Although apparently he does, and it's worked. But
Yeah.
You can never have enough healing. Absolutely, that's the answer I was looking for.
If you're looking to the answer to the question, there is the reason there's a Reno here is that there's a legendaries from the past effect that has happened. That Reno is not actually like here in the game and a thing that you're expecting to play against. It's a legendary. It's a legendary from the past. You got Reno. I believe it was duplicated by Elise the Enlightened as well. So there might even be another Reno hanging around in the hand.
No.
Although I think Raren has played Finley since then, so it might actually be now down at the bottom of the deck. I'm really not sure.
Kibler showing us how 9 mana makes this bot face really awkward. 10 mana, absolutely fine. 9 mana.
Yeah, for sure.
Is 11 card hand card still in standard? Do
What's
we
up,
play that?
Nathan? That's Admirable Zamora. How's it going? Look at Admirable being an active chatter. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. How's it going? Yeah. We can get 11 mana and 11 cards still, right? In all classes.
Mm-hmm.
So bot face and blade storm is a thing that can happen later, and then fill your hand up with minis.
So is this just a whiz-bang deck? Is this one of the whiz-bang decks where it's just all troll cards from the past?
Looks like
It's
it,
seeming
doesn't it?
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, if we had 11 mana right now, look at it. It'd be amazing.
Ooh.
Sweet.
I believe back in the day when the likes of Nathan That's Admirable Zamora and Brian Kibler of Brian Kibler Gaming were casting, it's the kind of thing they called a heads-up play. When you put the bot face down, knowing that random spells were going to get cast, there was a decent chance that the bot face took some damage.
Oh. So 1/1. And we rolled 2 sand totems. Or sand art elementals, in fact. The minis that just give you Wind Fury and +1 attack. In a deck that isn't built to use that. So that's kind of sad.
What now?
So need to make space for more, or for 1 more mini, because Rowan horribly shrank it down to a 1/1.
What a jerk.
Yeah, right? We're trying to predict the minis here.
This thing has mega impressed twice so far, by the way. The Origami Dragon. I think this was brought up by someone in that Pheno card review I was talking about, where it's a discoverable dragon if you're going to be doing like Highlander Druid things, for example, which is very, very relevant. Origami Dragon in general, but you see it here just being very, very impressive to deal with that bot phase problem.
Get 2 random temporary frost spells, okay? Ooh.
Chat, help me out. I'm going to guess Warrior is relatively weak because Kibler is playing it. Wow. That's how you know. Shade between casters digs deep and never goes away. That's how you know.
Yeah. For the 20th anniversary, me and Sot will be in chat, just being idiots to each other, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. It's always banter. Banter's always right. You can just never kill Paladin. It's actually impossible.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
there's
at
the extra
35. So it's the keywords shuffle version? Yeah. Whenever I see 6
Keywords
mana,
shuffle.
I'm expecting the keywords shuffle version. So that is in full Divine Shield, Taunt, Lifesteal, Rush, and then Death Rattle, shuffle this into your deck.
I wonder.
Oof. It's a fat 8.
Yeah. And it hasn't really got anywhere. Yeah. Clark unlocked the achievement fee 5 fun.
Sorry, why did we do that? I'm very
No,
confused.
I'm just staring at the screen wondering why it does read achievements to distract myself and the issue at hand.
What just happened? Was he expecting
Oh.
Shuffle a copy? So he would keep the version that he had?
Maybe?
I guess you could, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I can understand that misunderstanding.
Yeah, day 1 card in 3 weeks' time, people are saying, I never misread a card in my life. Everyone's misread at least 1 card, right, this time around. Like, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are still trying to this day to understand what Headless Horseman's actually going to do.
If you want to find out for sure, you can just go to Brian Kibler's stream, and I'm sure he'd be thrilled to have, several hundred first-time chatters asking him why he made the dumb play.
Except we're the ones with the first-time chatters from Kibler's stream. That's how it works.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
Let's try that again. This time it will work for sure.
I'm almost out of cards. Looks like you've got your own tricks.
Now I'm trying to work out what's going on. Yeah. And it's done.
Sound lethal. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Oh, Kibler actually managed to end that directly on the hour as well. It's almost like this man looks out for the wants and needs of casters. Well done. Congratulations.
Yep, that meaning we are going to take a very short break to switch some people about again, just to keep us fresh for the 8 hours in hand, and we'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere because there's more giveaways coming.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We are good to go to carry on some more games. I'm going to be juggling a few other things at the same time, so may not see my smoothest work ever. But so I've been sat watching all these games and it's looking, pretty all over the place in a good way, right? We've seen obviously a lot of the Warlocks. I think we always see the people, the cards, the players want to jump to straight at the beginning, like try wheel with Warlock. We saw a lot of Pirate Rogue as well. But I think we're hitting, like, what are we on, that hour 3 we're about to begin, where players are starting to, oh, okay, well, I've not tried this yet. I've not tried that. We saw some Shaman that I managed to get hold of. And I'm looking for some more Hunter as well.
Yeah, I'd only seen one Hunter, I think, so far. But yeah, we'll be getting on to... You'll have everyone's first ideas, which are generally going to be like the biggest, flashiest cards that they want to try out, right? And I think at this point, we'll be getting on to streamers' second or third ideas that they want to try out over the course of the theory crafting window. I will just throw out as a note, by the way, I stayed on Kibler's POV through that break. Kibler queued straight back into Raren for the same matchup, and they just conceded turn one. They did not want to go through that again at all.
Brilliant. Well, we'll jump over. We'll start in Rekvam, I think, is a good place to start. It's the first time. I think Rekvam started a little bit later. I didn't see him online before, so we'll jump in and see how that one's going. Looks like he is going to be... Oh, he just won, so I'll wait and give it a second before when he gets into another one. He was playing Mage, and I know you and Lorinda were talking about Mage a little bit earlier, right? Of like, how well you think it's going to go, but I feel like it's really hard to work out because, as you mentioned, it's not only expansion, but we're hitting rotation, right? And with some just, so it's just big things all at once. It's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah, for sure. But I think when we've just seen a Mage which has been so reliant on Sif for quite some time, right? Even with the buff window that we're currently in, with Energy Shaper getting buffed before it rotates, we're still seeing Energy Shaper Mage using Sif as that payoff at the end. So when you then have to entertain the idea of no minion Mage, it's quite brain warping in terms of having to reestablish, okay, well, how does the deck win if it's not a +7 spell damage minion and a bunch of cheap spells being thrown at your face? Because that's just what we've seen for so long. The answer that will most commonly come up is just big, powerful, expensive spells that recast stuff or summon random things. The orb, the box. But from what we've seen from those so far, there's a couple of failure states for those cards that we've seen happen already throughout this stream. So yeah, I'm still waiting to see the magic moment for Mage.
Yeah, I'm looking for who's high rank because it looks like Rekvam's going deck builder, so we'll give him a minute. Let's go to Zako and see what they're up to if you want, mate.
Okay.
And we'll see. I have no clue what class this is. Again, we are keeping an eye on chat, guys. I've been watching all the time. So if you've got anyone specific you want to check out, then by all means let me know. Let me find.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, since we're now into the third hour, we do have multiple mega bundle giveaways to be handing out on this stream. We have done it in the past where we've just dropped codes in chat in a kind of free-for-all manner, but a few people have expressed displeasure at that, so we've mixed it up. We are going to be giving them away through random drawings where we'll message people in private. All you have to do to enter is be active in chat. I don't exactly know the window, but let's say that over the course of, we're doing about 1 per hour, a little bit more than that. Let's say if you've been active in chat within that window, you're probably entered into the giveaway. So just drop some messages in chat, hang out with us. We are reading chat as well, so if you have questions, just ask us, let us know, and we'll do our best to answer it with our extensive and flawless knowledge of everything Hearthstone.
Of course, as always, we have never gotten the name of a card wrong, an ability wrong, a play wrong, nothing. It's literally never happened, or at least not this year. So it's not been going too bad. Right now, though, it looks like Ike is going to be
2024 so far. We're doing it.
We're doing all right. I'm doing great. I've literally not got anything wrong, so I'm doing fantastic. Ike's suffering a bit on the Rogue, but I did mention you were talking about how much you're interested in keeping an eye on Rogue this expansion.
Yeah, I mean, you know this for sure. Having experienced new expansions with me since 2015, probably something like that. Yeah. If weird combo-y cheap cards, recursion rogue is a thing. It's a thing that I tend to play on day one, and certainly this pirate rogue with the duplicating spells and the zero cost spells is definitely tickling my brain in the way that gets me interested for day one expansion.
Also, just for a second there, I was like, oh yeah, game's going to be over, let's wrap it up. But Ike is actually fighting back to an extent. Reno is not active as far as I can see, so that's something to think about.
Could hear the pain in Ravens a while right there. Yeah, you and me both.
Look at that mountain giant though, Sol. Just look at it.
I know.
Just look at it. Reminds me of good times.
Unexpected.
Genuinely, like handlock is like
a
top 3 all-time deck for me, probably. Like Leroy Power Overwhelming, Shadow Flame, 4 Giants, handlock.
Secret
I once
Paladin.
took the Raynad bait and brought Frost Elemental to a tournament. It did really well for me, but then I quickly realized that I just kind of high rolled in that tournament. It was not a good card.
It's one of those things where you're like, look at this deck I've built. Like, look at this card, this inclusion no one's using, and I'm winning. How many times have you played the card? Well, 0 times, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But Ike's sitting on 1 health right now. Maybe not looking too great.
Let's get connected. Are Hunter out of meta now? We don't know. We don't know if people aren't. First off, there isn't a meta. We're several days before the expansion is actually released, and people are just playing around with what they want. Secondly, we never know if we haven't seen much Hunter because not many people are playing Hunter, or whether it's just luck of the draw from the players that we're clicking on to spectate that they don't happen to be playing Hunter. There's no real way of telling.
I will be honest. For the past 2 hours, I have been actively trying to find Hunter.
Okay.
And I'll be honest. People aren't jumping on it right now, but I've just seen someone who is, so maybe that's where we're going to go next. Although Ike somehow still alive with the freeze as well on Zach, so that's going to be a little bit of a trouble. But, oh, this card is so good. I don't know if you caught the card review from Fino and the boys, but
I saw most of it.
But yeah, they were popping off about that card, and I don't blame them at all. But for now, I think we're going to jump over to Jiminator, as if I am correct, they are in fact playing Hunter.
All right,
see
let's do this.
if I can find them on the friends list.
That's admirable. No Arcane Golem charge equals no Hunter. Come on, Leroy and South Sea Deckhand are back. What more do you want? Jeez, calm down.
Okay, well, looks like the alphabet doesn't work for me. There we go. I went for J and it's D.
It's a T.
Yeah, believe it or not, the starts with T. It even rhymes. Right, let's get into it. It's going to be a Geminator versus Old Guardian here. If I can just get the spectate up for you guys. Okay, looks like I don't have Old Guardian's hand, but still, we get to see the hunter side of things, which makes me happy. And there's also a Tyrannosaurus. Oh, the full arts in this expansion are so good, Saul.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't have OG either. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Flying under the radar. It's only Druid.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Oh, we Odlin. We Odlin. The answer to the eternal question, are we yodeling? Yes, we are.
Shouldn't even be a question. It's that obvious, the answer. I'm almost offended it's asked. You've got to hold down the fort for about 10 seconds, so I need to go and do something quick. That's all
I
yours.
got you. So double draw Tyrannosaurus for 2 and a Hollow Hound for 1 coming off the Mystery Egg. Not going to matter though because Old Guardian simply explodes. So there you go. There is your Hunter wishes. Hopefully we'll stay here and hopefully with Raven away from the keyboard, which is he's the one in control of the stream right now. Hopefully the Geminator just queues into another game and hopefully stays on Hunter because he looked like he might be cooking there.
It's we'll go back to us for a second, but browsing collection.
No!
I know. Someone go to Geminator's stream and say it's an official request from the Hearthstone channel that they queue the Hunter again.
Yeah. Unironically, right? No, like several hundred people go raid him at the same time. Everyone in chat, through pure synergy and agreement, pick one person that goes and no one else. I'm sure this is a flawless plan with zero drawbacks.
Yeah, I'm worried that this is still sat. Do I have to go back to and try and find? It was hard enough to find one Hunter. And it's really interesting, honestly, because I think Hunter's got some really cool cards, right? I mean, we saw some of the options you have available in that little bit of the game, but I'll try and have a look who else is right. Is there anyone you want to look at? Is there anyone chat wants to look at? Any players here? Although some of the Americas players are actually starting to kick in now as well.
Oh, we haven't had a Jambers yet. How about a little Jambray action, maybe?
Jambray, yeah, of course. One sec. Let me find him.
It's under J if you're struggling with your alphabet.
Missed you, Saul. I've missed you. Wait, I legitimately can't spectate him. Can you spectate Jambray?
Oh no, actually I can't.
Oh,
it lets me click spectate, but nothing happens.
Okay,
Is that what's happening to you? Yeah. Okay.
Shall we go? Because we'll. Oh, can't spectate 2 different games at the same time. Okay. We can go back to Rekvam because I believe he's on Shaman. Oh wait, no, I need to just crash out because my game.
We're cursed, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh god, let me relog quick. Sorry about this, guys. Let me do a quick relog there. But has anything that you've seen so far stuck out? Or any cards that you thought were going to be good that we've seen don't look good? Is there anything that you didn't think was going to look good has actually surprised you? Or were there any cards, because honestly, that you might not have even had on your radar at all, sort of showing up and go, oh, actually, that's interesting?
So definitely, I said this earlier for sure, Wheel of Death, it has not had much opposition in the games that it's won. It was a mirror, it was a whiz-bang deck, it was a very, very slow version of Raza Priest. But it has won, and it has looked, when you actually see it in reality, with Wheel of Death, with a Sargeras, with a Reno, with the ability to shuffle 1 or 2 cards back in your deck to resist fatigue for 1 or 2 turns. It's looked vaguely possible. That's not me changing my opinion. I'm still ride or die with that card is unplayable. But honestly, if you'd have asked me beforehand whether I thought Wheel of Death could beat a whiz-bang deck or an autocomplete deck or, just literally like a basic Innkeeper deck, I would have said no. So I'm already wrong on how extreme my assessment of how bad that card was. So we'll wait and see.
We found Hunter naturally.
Oh, who is it?
Rekvam. He's on Hunter. We got there. Okay, nice. We got there. Okay. And Troll Daddy has 3 quests active. Command the elements, corrupt the waters, and unite the Murlocs. These were the good days.
What? Is this a whiz-bang deck?
I
You
would
just get all the
would
quests?
guess it's a whiz-bang
Okay.
deck, but I'm not 100% sure. But oh, look at that Master's Call. You know how much I've talked about Master's Call in the past. It's just right there, staring at me. Perfect. Also, that Hydra, you know, up there is one of the best arts in the set, in my humble opinion.
Floppy Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah, you found.
I know Lorinda was talking about the doggo earlier.
RC Hounds, yeah.
And the Death Knight one, I think Lorinda's a fan of. I can't remember the name of that Death Knight dog. Wait, Murloc? Is this Murloc or WHIZBANG? Shaman.
Yeah, so the 3 quests are summon Murlocs for Megafin, play Battle Cries for Heart of Anal, and play cards with Overload for the 3-stage one. So actually, if you look at the Murloc pool, that does kind of
Ticking
work,
some boxes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you do actually start getting through those 3 separate quests at the same time.
Although no matter what new cards are coming out, no matter what the meta is, a 4-1 is a good shape for a Hunter card as the Humongous come out.
What are your feelings on this card, but Animal Companions, the new thing that gives you 2 mana Animal Companions in your hand?
Oh, I think it's really good. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's just.
I do too.
I just think it's one of those things where it's like it's just a good Hunter card, you know, like, and you know what I'm like with some of the older Hunter cards as well. So yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, step 1 of Overload quest complete. So that unlocks mana crystals, if my memory is correct, of old shot.
I was gonna
yeah,
say
that's
we have to really keep tight control on which quest is getting progressed which amount, because this is casting on hard mode.
Yeah, so then the next stage of that one is you play 3 more cards with Overload, then you get a 3/3. And then the next one is the actual full quest reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all nearly done. 1 more Murloc for Megafin as well, which, if you don't remember, Megafin fills your hand with random Murlocs. Apologies if this is all redundant. I don't know how good a broadcaster Raven is. He might be mousing over all this stuff for you.
I
on the
have been
screen.
doing it. Yeah, I'm sort of triple wielding jobs at the moment.
Yeah.
Doing my best.
Buzzard. All right. Okay, we're always interested in buzzards. I've been a buzzard enjoyer for a couple of expansions, really. I've
It's just a good card.
really enjoyed, Biggie Yomunga Overkill Hunter with the buzzard for quite some time. I took a fair deal of mockery from other pro community people for thinking that deck was playable, but I genuinely did think that deck was really playable. I had good results with it.
And you know me, if there's a Hunter card that says draw on it, I'm probably very happy with it.
Sure.
Anything that draws a card or 2 for Hunter is like, yep, sign me up. It's why I really liked Arcane Hunter days. I thought, even though not traditional, that was a fun style, because you could just sort of draw a lot of cards. Okay, that was it, right? That's just the one thing. Okay, so now there's the new hero power. Your battle cries trigger twice this turn.
Yeah. So Heart has been completed, so we've got the double battle cries. The one remaining one is just the remainder of the Overload quests. Will WHIZBANG be tournament legal? No idea. We don't make those rules. Sometimes we do get input onto tournament rule sets and stuff, but yeah, that is a decision for a little bit further down the line, I would imagine.
If a tournament could be won by a WHIZBANG deck that has all of the Renos and it's Raran, then you know what? Who am I to say no? Because that was glorious. I was imagining Kibler sliding further down in his chair.
It's already bad, and Paladin is already unkillable. They're an aggro deck that you can't race. It's so disgusting sometimes. Just you leave a minion up, deputization, or they've Reno'd, right? That's bad enough without them literally playing the card original Reno and literally Renoing. Can't be having that.
Oh, I was just gonna check when they hovered over it for me, but the Hydra's 3/5 and the new one's 5/9, so that's already been shuffled once, right?
That is a lot of scaling, right? It's kind of weird seeing Hunter doing long-term scaling stuff, but it scales quickly. Exponential growth is exponential growth.
And especially because it is a beast, you've got those certain things that have specific draws, right? So that you can maybe lean your deck that way towards just drawing the Hydra's back. Oh, this is Mega Fin, isn't it?
I'm getting less active? No, you don't want to be getting less active. That's the opposite.
Oh, here we go. Look at this card draw. Magnificent. Also, the Bunny Hopper doing work.
Yeah, Bunny Hopper, kind of a crucial component of many things. A crucial component of a Hearthstone community, but also of this scaling floppy Hydra deck, you would imagine, just so
I think
they...
that's one of the things I saw people talk about, with the 1/1 dog tokens, is that they don't have Rush, right? So it's just like, oh, how good are they going to be? It's like, well, you can give them Rush in some ways, but also just generating a lot of tokens can be pretty powerful. Solo, endless waves of these Murlocs coming there from the top.
Funkfin.
There's jungle. Look how good Hollowhound is here, though.
Yeah, I mean, generally, if you get some sort of buffed Hollowhound, it's hard to find a board state it's not good on most of the time.
Good to me. There you go, Sol. You were talking about it before.
Yep.
And there it is. Wow, just like that. Nice Murlocs, nice quests. And I think that's what will be interesting going forward with Hunter, is whether we see this sort of minion just stat focus, right? And just whether that's going to be enough in whatever the meta may or may not shake out being, who knows? But that does look like where Hunter's leaning towards, right? Of just more minions, more stats, and just keep on pushing. Spell with this like increased amount of cycle as well. It's going to be pretty cool. Oh, wow. Rekfam just insta-changed to Rogue.
Yeah, it's the popular thing these days, right? That all the cool hip young streamers are doing. Deck roulettes, where you have a bunch of things built up and you just cycle through them. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the kind of thing Rekfam is interested in. Because he was on Shaman 2 games ago, right? He's gone Shaman, Hunter, Rogue over the course of 3. And it's whiz-bang again!
Yeah. This deck has cards from all classes and spell schools. Brilliant. And then... I'm just looking at the cards on the top of the screen here from Ecor, and it's like, we've definitely got a game on our hands. Also, jumping back to Rogue, I do think we've seen we've seen what I think is going to be the story of Rogue if it gets played, like Pirate Rogue, if it gets played going forward, is the, oh my god, it's super strong and pumping out a ton of damage, and we've seen from the deckhand duplicates, the Shadow Step, and so on. But also we've seen it just play a few pirates, they die, and then it's kind of just peters out. So I do wonder if or how quickly players can get to a position where there's enough card draw to be consistent enough to actually win these games.
Also, cool hip young streamers, you're old. Yes, I know. No, okay, pro tip, everyone. No one actually says cool hip young people unless they're deliberately invoking the fact that they are really old. We didn't need to point this out. It's okay. I am extremely old. This is fine. We're all on board. Way to stay active, though. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, how are you talking badly of people that are just being active chatters?
I know, honestly. I can't tell these people to be active and then mock them for being active.
Your activity is silly. Stop now.
Oh, can we make some paintings? Right?
Oh yeah, did you see the one? You see, here's where you missed out. You missed what I was painting earlier. It was great. I did some great ones. There was I think Sir Finley. Oh, there's Boom. There you go. I need one of these. I need one of these Murlocs.
I don't know why I was expecting that to appear on my game board that I'm looking at in my entirely different client.
You can see, I'll just answer some questions in chat. You can see the progress of your drops if you click on your own little profile icon in the top right of the screen. And then on the drop down, there should be one of them that says drops on it. And if you click on that, it should tell you where you're up to with the drops. Keep an eye on that. But yeah, what do you
Incredible levels of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's almost like you stream for a living.
Yep. I've been known to. What? I'm just started thinking, what's Rekvam supposed to do? Is this just ignore your opponent and just go? Because how are you supposed to play around anything?
Yeah, so the one thing I don't know the question, as far as I'm aware, right, the themes of the WHIZBANG decks are public, but the actual content of them, card for card, isn't, as far as I understand. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, chat, or anyone else. But yeah, maybe when if the rainbow version is actually like the same 30 cards every time, for example, like maybe you can start to figure out how to play around it. Because I do believe we've seen Elemental Inspiration come out both times. We've seen Remorseless Winter and Celestial Shot come out both times, and I believe we've seen Consecration come out both times. That we've seen this deck on stream.
I didn't actually think about that. If it's like a pre-built kind of random deck, right? Like it looks random, but it's actually built.
Right. In which case you might be able to play around it, but I think honestly from Rekbam's side, he's quite happy just doing his own thing right now as Rogue, right? Like
it's so strong.
It's looking kind of chill.
I think this is a turn we will see a few times in the future. You know, especially with the I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, the bargain bin and the gold beard. It's like, I mean, it's so much like either removal or board pressure, right?
I could absolutely feel the steering there from Rekvam as like, because a lot of those effects were summoning pirates that attacked a random enemy. So as he was doing each action, he didn't know where each subsequent pirate had already attacked into. So he was having to try and figure out by doing like, the arrow point trick where you can point at something, figure out if it's dead. Like desperately trying to figure out where his attacks were supposed to go.
A little clear there though. There's a Hellfire in hand for Eco.
But this is the problem now, is we've seen Rogue hit this point in most games. They're just starting to gas out. We do have the gear shift now, which is very, very nice. This is a great hand to play it with.
This is close to it, right? Like this is really, really running on gas right now. So I'll have to see how it goes. The Hellfire's already there to deal with the board, and Eco's got enough health to not have to worry.
Ooh. Sheesh.
But nobody says that anymore, Solji.
I know, I'm so old. Jeez.
So out of touch with the hip cool kids.
Exactly. Fun interaction, by the way. Like Deadly Poison, kind of a core component of this deck. And then if you have a Deadly Poison on a regular dagger, Dread Corsair costs 1, which is then the perfect synergy with Sonya Water Dancer. Kind of nice.
What a turn.
Yep.
What an age we live in right now. Where you just going pirate. But I do like the little nod to be like, if you play a 1 cost, you get a 0 cost, which guess what? Does not proc it again. There's like some levels of limitations on it.
Also, just kind of, reconciling what just happened this turn. Did Sonya just copy herself?
That is a good question.
Sonya was played as casting 1 and then gave a 0 mana copy of Sonya, right? Is that not what happened?
That's weird. Yeah, I'm not actually 100% sure on that. I was kind of I was in that mode where you just sit back and just watch loads of things happen and just be like, yeah, this is cool. So yeah, I'm not sure on that one. We will jump over to someone else. Let's see what Day and Hearth's up to. And see what they're cooking up. I have no clue what class this is. Again, if you have any specific people you want to check out, if you've seen any cool decks or not, you make sure to tell us in the chat and we will try and get to them when we can.
Hey, this preset is actually kind of sweet.
There's
some stuff going on right now. It is Priest, I agree. And like, you know, you do have to find some kind of skin that isn't Anduin, so you're not playing Anduin, right? Like, I get it. There are sacrifices that come with playing Priest.
Does Mecha Anduin count?
It counts as Anduin and therefore should be avoided. If
Oh, well,
I don't know which way to
I'll
answer
find
that
myself
question.
a Priest skin if I ever play the class. It's going to be going up against Ruffle on that Rogue again. Just look at the pressure. I mean, it might just be over before it began here.
I feel like we've seen a lot of Ruffle, but only on top. I don't think we've actually spectated Ruffle, but we've had Ruffle opponent several times.
Getting in all these games, playing these aggro decks.
Now then, so yeah, there is a current engine that exists, Crimson Clergy and Funnel Cake with Priest, which allows you to draw tons of cards and refresh mana. And then Dane Hearth appears to be playing the Giants as well, which discount by 1 for each card that you can draw.
Mm-hmm. We will stay on Dane, by the way. I have to respectate because the opponent locks me out of spectating the next opponent. So, but yeah, Dane Hearth's gonna make in a deck. Also, does not want to keep
right, leave before we get cursed again.
Yeah.
Last time.
Okay, who else do we want? Who's Banter's browsing the collection? No Hands is browsing. Who else? What about Regis? That's what Regis is up to.
Yeah, I like a bit of Regis in my life.
Regis is always brewing. Let's see what's going on. Who do we have? We have Regis. I'd love it if it was against Ruffle. Regis against Pit.
Maybe Ruffle? Pitch in chat. Okay.
There we go. Let's see what's going on here. So it's going to be Warlock again, but it looks to be Oh no.
Is this the neutral Discoverer 2 cost that we're looking at? Yeah, it is. The Scarab Keychain.
I never thought I'd see Elysiana again after the dark days of a certain format in Grandmasters, but it's back. I literally just flashed back in time for a second then. Oh. Yeah, Doomsay it. Up and down. Does have plenty of stuff left with Nero and Rin, of course, as well. You know we've not
with only
seen
4
enough.
cards left in deck, Elysiana is looking kind of attractive if you can find the time though. But this is the first actual legitimate looking Paladin that we've seen, right? We saw the other Paladin, which appeared to be some kind of whiz-bang Paladin.
Yep. I need to see a hero power because the new tokens are awesome. Like deputization coming up. Not new, but still strong. No hero power, though. I'm disappointed. There's Thanatum.
Yeah, Regis went to snap play the Phantom, but then thought, hang on, I can actually blow up the remainder of my deck here and get it for 0. Of course, only doing 5 after the little slap on the wrist it got in the recent nerf wave.
Yeah, you know what hurts? I've just seen Admirable's comment in the chat, and what hurts was, that was when I cast APAC.
I remember that. Yeah. Admirable did turn up late once. Yeah, that is a true story.
I was on the worst.
Zero hyperbole or exaggeration. That actually happened. Yeah. We very, very nearly wrapped around 1 week. It got kind of close. Is Admirable trolling? No, that happened.
Yeah, 100%. That's why when I saw Elysiana, I was the one casting the APAC matches that never ended. Oh. Here comes Nero, though. That consistent pressure.
I miss Grandmasters. Same. Yeah, we've hit the point where we're nostalgic for Grandmasters.
Well, although we've been doing this theory casting for a few expansions now, we are rocking the 10-year anniversary, right? So it does also mean we can sit here and talk about the old days. I think that's completely fair.
Take 15, idiot. It'd be a shame if you were just unkillable and you could heal back to
It'd
full
be a
this
shame
turn.
if you were a paladin. Look at those tokens, though. I think it was such a cool surprise, and this might sound a bit, you know, I probably like it too much, but I just think adding like new token artwork to Paladin was such a sick move. Honestly, I think it looks so good. We have to check
How much
now
is
as
going to be
well,
left up here?
because you could have. Oh, okay.
5,
they're
8, 11,
different.
14. 26, yeah. We're mega alive.
And at any point, Regis can turn this fatigue right off with this Elysiana. Oh, look, back up to full. It's Paladin.
That's what I mean. Like, it's got hit in the face by a 15-15 last turn.
Now, if you younguns don't remember what Elysiana does, it replaces your deck with 2 copies of 5 discovered cards. So that's what you can see here. Gnomish Safe Pilot, probably the choice. Imagine
Oh my god.
Scoundrel.
Oh god, average Hearthstone cards are quite bad, aren't they?
How dare you? Scoundrel was very played. It's time.
It was, yeah, it was an actual play. I don't think it was ever correct to be in a deck, but it was in decks.
Hey, look, it existed during Highlander times, okay?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
Paparazzi is mega value.
Yeah. Ooh. Librarian.
Oh, Nostalgic
Kinda like.
Clown. You can try and kill the Paladin. It won't work, but you can try.
I like Librarian, yeah, that feels like a more reasonable card.
I just got word that another giveaway has gone through, by the way. I'm going to pronounce this into you. I think that's how it's intended. INTYUE has been selected as the winner and will be contacted in private very, very shortly. Congratulations, you have won a mega bundle.
I was very confused with where you were going with that, because I was like, you're going to pronounce it at me? Into me? Like, I don't know. Like, what's going on?
And I promise you, the way that happened was that Into You was just so active in chat.
Yeah. Active, complimentary.
Yep. Didn't call me old. That's crucial as well.
But also reminisced about the old days. It's a little bit of a tricky walk to manage, but they did it.
So which of the auras are still active? It's just Deputization and Crafters,
Yes.
right? Yeah, so the buff aura is not currently active, which is a bit annoying. No Keeper's Strength coming down here either. Nice. Can't remember the name of it. Clay Matriarch summons a 4/4 on Death Rattle.
Very quickly just become a war of stuff, hasn't it? It's like we're both players kind of just working with what they've got. With the random summons. I think that has ended though now, right? Oh no, sorry. It's 2
One
more
more.
turns. Wow. I forgot how long
2 more.
Crafters
Oh,
Aura
has the
is.
extended aura been played? Did we join it in session and the extended aura has already been played?
Oh,
Maybe from the
maybe, yeah.
Paladin?
Safe Pilot's not looking too bad though. Safe Pilot also gives me bad memories of a previous time. She was OP for quite a while in Warcraft Rumble.
Yeah, indeed. It's one of those things where, like, you look at a Hearthstone card, like, there's a lot of words and a lot of keywords on this card. And you looked at Safe Pilot and Rumble, like, this does a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Love these young casters who have always been young and good. That right there. That's the kind of message we need to see in
I mean,
chat.
if it was
More of
down
that.
to me, you'd be looking at a future bundle winner right there.
Yep.
But it's
Yeah.
not down to me, so you're not
To
probably.
quote the great Doug, that's the kind of honest feedback we really need in this chat.
Yeah. This Fireblade, though, is causing problems, isn't it? Because even though it's hard to kill a Paladin, these imps are trying. They are doing their best.
Reporting for duty.
Tarim. I forgot about Tarim.
Yep. It's kind of ridiculous though, right? Like, the Warlock has just had at least, what, 12, 15 power in play every turn for the last 4 turns. And Paladin's just like, yeah, and what, mate?
Nice try. I've got auras and stuff.
Oh, are you kidding? What do you in fact mean?
See, and like I said, the Paladin's got auras and stuff. There is Royal Librarian, if Regis so chooses. You recall 10 years ago what was the OP strat for Paladin? There wasn't one 10 years ago.
There wasn't one, really, no.
Paladin, I remember I think it was a player called Sixer. Made, I think, won one of the a really early tournament, with what was basically an aggro Paladin deck. You know, kind of just like good cards in a Paladin build with, you know, like Blessed of Kings in there, and like Harvest Golem and stuff. I think that was one of the first Paladin decks I ever saw that did did well in a tournament, but I don't think it ever really caught on until honestly I think like Naxxramas.
It was the first deck I ever hit rank 1 legend with. It was like a South Sea deckhand Blessing of Might straight up aggro Paladin with Divine Favor, and it was literally like, it was terrible. I just literally hit a pocket of the meta where everyone was playing terrible matchups for it for like 3 days. So I just went, okay, fine.
But what deck did you get 3-star masters with?
Huh? What, me? I didn't. No, what? You talking about Huntrace? What's going on?
No. The original ranking system in Hearthstone.
Oh, I didn't actually play. I didn't play
did you not play
until
that early? Oh.
I didn't play until the season before season 1. That was the first season I played.
Fair enough.
Or maybe I was playing, but I only played arena or something. I did play like mostly arena before I actually jumped into constructed for a while.
Reporting for duty.
Well, here's the Paladin, continuing to be alive.
Looking quite not dead to me.
This is Death Rattle Summon, right? Yeah, lead dancer. Death Rattle summon a minion from your deck with less attack than this minion. Dang, I'm so young. Exactly. Exactly, Rogue Pig.
Interesting with the collar though here, right? But just nope one of these. I'm gonna trade instead, okay. What's the follow-up? Because Regis is running out of cards. Like, Regis does only have 3 left in the deck.
Yeah. And we're in kind of an awkward position now where, like, you know, the Chaos Creation Rin can't really be played because Regis needs all of these cards to do things.
I think Regis just needs, like, Collar to live, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what I will say is that, yes, I've been making fun of how easy it is for Paladin to stay alive here quite extensively, but they haven't really shown any signs of being able to clear the board, which, if you can get one of these minions to just stick and be recursive, then maybe that'll do enough to get you over the line. And finally, we are out of all of the auras now, so this is just a vanilla Paladin on the other side.
The worst flavor of Paladin.
It's weird, right? You know when like something gets criticized as being vanilla, meaning like boring, plain, that kind of thing, right? Vanilla is a very popular flavor of ice cream. In fact, I'd suspect it's the most popular flavor of ice cream in the entire world. Not really an insult, is it? Like, vanilla's delicious. There's a reason you add vanilla extract to like all baking, because it's fantastic.
Yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? It's a bit too fancy sometimes.
It's too fancy. But when people call something vanilla as an insult, they're not saying it's too fancy, are they?
Yeah, but it's like being too fancy has become too common, and I think that's what it is.
No, okay. Oh, check out the Silverhand Recruit, by the way.
I'll tell you something though. This surprises you or not, I've never added vanilla extract to anything.
The
Lethal.
Paladin died!
It actually died. It was a bit of a weak turn, let's say, from from Pip there. But what a deck.
Raven is so northern. That's a bundle winner right there, if I've ever seen one. That's the kind of comment we need.
I just tell the truth. What can I say? Okay, so that was pretty cool though from Regis. That was a cool deck going into fatigue so early as well, but having that backup plan of hurts me to say this, but Elysiana did actually pay off. That was kind of nice. Who else shall we look for? Language Hacker is playing. Shall we dive in and see what Language Hacker's up to? Again,
yes,
as you'll have noticed,
please.
and you'll notice if you check out some of the people who are streaming, which are all these people we're checking out, is there's a lot of they're playing against Wreck Fam on Hunter. That's good. Is that a lot of these players are, we're going to see more players sort of join in now because the Americas players or players over on that side of the world are starting to join and starting to stream as well. So we will try and cover as many players as possible. But for now, it's going to be Shaman versus Hunter, which ticking a lot of boxes for me and the chat.
How's the new place? Still here, mate. Haven't moved. Things take time, unfortunately. I wish they didn't. Oh yeah, well, we're on the subject of nostalgia. Language Hacker, the shout out from Admirable, who genuinely thought that was Language Hacker's name for some amount of time.
Ah, the good old days.
Oh, just in time.
Yeah, I feel like you are a Shudder Block enjoyer already, and you've not even played the card yet.
It's definitely exciting. So right there, by the way, I was talking about this earlier. The way I understand Shadow Block works, that for your opponent to be immune to it, it has to actually say damage on the card itself that you played. So these Tendrils, for example, Battlecry cast a random 6-cost spell. If the Tendril casts a spell that deals damage to the opponent, that would still work because the card you played does not say damage on it. Yep. That is as far as I understand it.
Yep, I would agree with that. I was here for the conversation with the it was Calamos.
Calamos,
there we go. I was gonna say Kalimdor, which is relevant but not correct. But yeah, it was Calamos' battle cry, right, for doing the invocation. Oh, that's some damage.
That is some Damahe.
I do love that there's a Hunter location that's just shoot stuff loads of times. It's just great. That is just a typical Hunter thought pattern going on there.
Were you hoping, Raven, that they brought back your favorite style of Hunter gameplay, where you get rewarded for having no cards in your hand? I know you're always a big enjoyer of.
I was, yeah, mainly because I always had no cards in my hand. Look, that is, I would say, broadly been fixed now. But there was a point where Hunter just didn't get card draw for what felt like years. It was just like, this deck doesn't have cards. What's going on?
Wait. Am I wrong? Is it actually Shamans that are unkillable? It might be Shamans that are unkillable.
I want to see more of that, oh no. Is it Origami Dragon? Crane? What's the one that just steals the swap? Yeah. Oh, when we saw that earlier today. Oh, now that's a good card. I'll throw that out there right now. Look at that. Classic. 10 years later, Huffer and Misha still rocking, and Leok still nowhere to be seen. And people happy about it. Nothing's changed.
Huffer and Misha and the rest of the Hunter Beasts have a private WhatsApp group where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna have a party, guys. Come over to Misha's house. No one tell Leok. And Leok just always turns up. Hey, what's up, guys? Oh god damn it, Leok's here again.
And you know it's Leok's housemate that's like, he saw the message. I'm sorry. It's like, I couldn't do much after that.
It was my fault. He asked if he could use my phone, and I'd left the group open. I didn't think about it. I'm really sorry. Every friend group has one of those. Which, by the way, if you're thinking my friend group doesn't have one of those, that's because it's you.
I'm worried because I'm, in fact, not in a caster WhatsApp group, which which has made me sit here and consider everything that's going on in my life. Just being outed like that on stream is pretty brutal. What a way to start the Hearthstone year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, expendables.
Enjoy your final moments.
Yeah, that is true, actually. Is Lorinda just... There is a WhatsApp group with the 3 casters that matter. Me, Lorinda, and Callum Leslie.
Is it called the Graps?
I think it might be, actually. No, it's called Wembley, like spelled out like the football chant. Like, hey, Sarah, Sarah, we're going to
okay.
Wembley. Yeah.
Okay, more doggos. I'm not sure how good that one's going to be, honestly. You know, just the summon the dogs and more have +1. I'm not sure if that one's going to make the cut going forward. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it does have the immediate kind of mega synergy with the location, right? Which you can just summon a whole bunch of beasts, but even then, how good is that payoff?
Yeah, you end up with just
One of
summoning
those things where, like, you look at cards and you're like, okay, it doesn't have rush though, which makes it significantly worse than it could have been. What was the one in the last expansion? Oh, the light bottle, the fireflies, the priest fireflies with lifesteal, where it's like your brain just tells you they have rush, even though it clearly does not say rush on the card.
Wait, hang on. I'm seeing this in chat. What? At the location? I blinked and missed something here. I should not have been talking about WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, clearly I missed something too. Yeah, hang on. What happened? What happened?
Quick rewind.
Chat, use your words. What weren't we looking at? No, fireflies don't have rush. That's the point.
Twisting Nether kills locations now.
Oh, Twisting Nether
Right.
got the puff treatment. Like it's a Reno now. It's a Sargeras now. Oh, hi Cora. Yeah, clarify. We're asking you questions. Hello.
I honestly was looking at chat when it happened, and I just turned back and was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Nothing's gone on. Oh, that is a lot of tentacles. Language Hacker going full Yogg-Saron cosplay right now.
Just destroys locations. Okay, cool. So not minions anymore. Got it. Just locations.
I was going to say, hang on
understood.
a minute. We heard the
But
feedback
not dormants and nests and things like that, right?
We heard
Yeah,
the feedback that locations were a bit too strong, so we've changed a few cards.
Got it.
Oh, okay. Big
Oh,
hit.
that Yormunga's so big.
Yeah.
There is always a bigger one, but that one is so big. Wait, what if it's actually Hunter that's unkillable? Have we considered that?
Right, we've got plenty of hours to go yet, and I feel like everything is now unkillable.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Oh,
Sunset
yeah.
Volley. More of those, please. No.
Okay.
No. Come on, Sunset Volleys. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. Stop
Hey,
flipping.
there's
There we
one,
go.
there's one.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, I mean, that was a turn. That is gonna be good enough.
Oh.
Wow, okay, that's kind of cool. Again, Shudder Block, not really too much of a surprise, being a card that has those kinds of turns, right? I feel like that's where we get to. Right, who else shall we check out? Any names jumping out at you, Sol? You can have a little pick. since I've been
Let me
picking
have
for the last few
a
hours.
look. Would you believe me if I told you that my client had frozen? No, we're good. And same we've seen Jumbo, we've seen some Kibler, we've seen some Language Hacker. Banter's still setting up for America shifts by the looks of things. How about a Theo?
I was just hovering over Theos, that makes sense.
Well, there
Makes
you
it
go.
Very, very easy. So let's dive into Theos, see what they're up to. And most importantly, see what class they're on. It's going to be, Druid. We've not actually spec'd much Druid. Going up against, a Druid of Housewife as well. Dive into the game. There we go.
Yeah, I believe we saw Spell Damage Druid in the very first game of the day and then have not seen it since then.
I think we saw a dragon. Well, was that the same?
That's true. Yeah,
I
we
think
did.
saw
No,
a
you're right.
Highlander
You're right.
dragon, was it, or something like that? I think we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, what we are seeing right now is just a lot of stuff. Oh, there it is. Good old swipe. There's a lot of toys in this hand, isn't there?
Why are kids casting this event, and how are they so good at Hearthstone? That's the kind of honest feedback we need in this channel.
Get that person a bundle. I actually kind of hope that like full spell damage, big combo druid like pops off.
It's definitely one of the decks I'm excited to play. Yeah,
one of my favorite druid metas was Malagos Floop. Like, that was really fun.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously combo decks are an incredibly divisive topic in the community, right? They're very marmitey. People love them or hate them, but I personally go both ways. There are some combo decks that I find very boring, but I think druid combo decks have always been so fun because there's also always been ways to play for massive tempo with the druid combo decks, which is what makes them interesting, right? You have to understand when to combo, when to tempo. You can see here from Theo, right? Just a bunch of spell damage combo stuff on board, but also because of the presence of Eonar, just ability to make massive boards, which is sick, right? You want to be able to do both and have flexibility and have your deck do multiple powerful things. And I think generally combo druids have done those things.
Options, right? Like, yeah, it's felt like a lot of the cool druid combos is like you always have options, whereas some other combo decks in the past has always been no, you do this one thing, this one single combo every time. Whereas the druid ones, you can get pretty creative, and I know people are a bit up and down on druid now and again, depending on the meta. But again, I think like the Malagos Floop druid was one of my favorite druids of all time.
Shaney, make sure you leave a message literally the second before you have to leave, and that way you'll be eligible for the giveaways for as long as possible. And fingers crossed. Also, Guy here asks in chat, what are your most memorable moments in all your years of casting? That's a very easy answer for me. It's Lion.
Oh, no.
No, I don't think it is because you weren't there. It was Lion winning the World Championship for me.
Could have still been a good memory for me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Sort of hit me with the had to be there moment.
You did have to be there. But no, the reason I say that is that's like 30% of why it's really special to me, because a lot of the experienced casters couldn't make it to that event for various reasons. So that was an event that was largely fronted by me, which wasn't really something that I'd done at that like a world championship level before, right? Because we had Dan on stage doing stage host stuff for the whole event, and then it was like me, Saiyan, Gallon, and Hunter Ace, right?
Yep.
So it was like me and a fairly inexperienced group of casters. And then obviously 70% of why it's special is just the moment of Lion being the world champion, and then the speech that she gave afterwards. So yeah, that's mine.
Well, I'm not going to say mine because it's all about me now. Sol gave a much better answer than I did. I will say one about both of us though, and that you might say is a good second or third, maybe. Do you agree? Remember when our monitors casting at BlizzCon just died?
Yeah.
So me and Sol were started casting, like, show opens, okay, welcome everyone, blah blah blah, gonna get into this game, and I think halfway through a game the monitors just died, so we could not see the game to cast, and we ended up getting hold of just some microphones, like stick mics, and walking off just into the crowd at BlizzCon and casting off the giant screens that was there, instead of doing it like off to the side at the little caster desk that was set up. It was funny as well because people from the crowd were kind of wondering what the heck we were doing. They could hear us, and we were just walking around the crowd casting, which was
we had that like roving
fun.
Reporter thing as well, where like random people would come up to us and be like, no, we're live, pal. Like, you can't just come and have a conversation with us right now. But yeah, that was fun. I in the moment, like, I was kind of annoyed and upset about that because like that was our first BlizzCon, if I remember right, like our first World Championships at BlizzCon. And I'm like, this is a big moment for me, and we had this kind of tech disaster. But looking back on it, like, yeah, it was sweet.
Okay, so at the moment now, both players have just 1 million cards. There's a lot of spell damage coming out here, I think.
There sure is. These are all going face because they all cost 0.
Oh. Sparkle, sparkle. And there it
Yep.
is, just like that. Whoa. Okay. It is... I've not really been like this last few expansions, but just seeing that one turn has made me quite excited for Druid. Which, Druid's not normally a class, sorry, that I, like, gravitate towards naturally. We'll stay with Theo as well, just watch another game of that, I think. But Druid's not really a class I ever just, like, go towards. I'll almost never play Druid unless there is like a very specific Druid deck that I like that Malagos Floop I talked about. But that straight away, yes, I want to hit people for 1,000,000 with spells that just make other spells cost 0. Like, that sounds pretty fun. So we'll stay with Theo. Just wait to see if he's going into another game. This is when he goes to, and starts to build a different deck. Oh no, back in. Perfect.
It was Housewife last time, no? Or did we just watch Housewife in a different game?
Wait, is it a rematch?
I think it's a rematch. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, based on the fact it's a rematch, and it is now exactly 7 o'clock. Should we do a switcheroo?
Oh yeah, just tell whoever because I'm still here, right? So just send the next person in. I didn't even look at the time. Hello, Idlevice. How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
Oh, that was easy. Okay, bye-bye. Have
Bye,
fun,
Sol. I am good. I don't know if you caught that, but we're watching some spell damage Druid on the bottom with Theo going up against the Housewife on. I think it's more just like dragony Druid along the top.
Yeah, that was quite the spectacular end there with the Alonius and the spell damage. I suspect this is gonna be a thing. We'll see what all is out there to kill the Druids. That's always the real test. But I think between like the location and the buff to swipe and the taunts, the like 2 mana make 2 1/5 taunts, Druid's got a lot of defensive tools now to kind of make its way into that late game combo finish. So.
And I'm also going to ask you while we're here as well. I feel like you've been playing while you've not been casting. Have you? Is that true?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so. What have you been playing anything? Has anything sort of stuck out to you that we've not seen on stream? What have you been enjoying so far?
So, there's so much to try. So I haven't stuck with anything for, too long all at once. But definitely, Raza Priest feels like there's definitely something there. It seems as though, in spite of it being a 4-set meta, Reno decks are really more powerful than I would think. Oftentimes 4 sets, there's not as many cards to be able to get going with a Reno deck. But I've just been finding that the card quality is strong enough that you don't have that much trouble filling it out.
Oh, that's interesting. I have no doubt people will be very happy to hear that Reno's going to be played a lot. We'll see how that goes going forward. But so far, wait, what? Oh, right, yeah. This is looking pretty good. Like I was just saying to Sottle, I don't know if you were listening, but I'm pretty excited to try this spell damage Druid, or whatever form it ends up taking. Let's say, because again, all these players are, let's say they're playing slightly or potentially suboptimal versions of what these lists may become, because they are like forced to play a certain amount of the new cards. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this as a location goes down and Theo's on the road to burst in some spell damage again.
Yeah, and with the coin into Crystal Cluster, potentially could just jump through that mid-game portion and, immediately end up on like 10 mana crystals. This is just the way Druid ramps now is just all at once.
Yeah, it's like, when they used to go, used to be upset, 'cause it's like, they go ramp, and then they go ramp into ramp into ramp. Now it's just, they just go ramp the once, because that's all they need. It's done after that, it's fine. These dragons are coming down thick and fast, though, from Housewives.
Yeah, and that new one is, what is it? You get spell damage or you draw a card? Is that how that one works?
I believe so, yes. Gain 1 spell damage or draw a card. And obviously it's got miniaturize as well.
Yeah, and just sort of perfect thing to include in the spell damage deck, particularly being a dragon, so you can activate your whelps. I feel like there's potentially 2 ways of building. One is to include the dragon stuff for ramp that way. The other is to just rely on the gift for wild growth and then crystal cluster.
Yeah, this is looking. Oh, so much spell damage in the top. Apologies that I can't. For some reason, the spectator's not letting me hover the top cards. Is that the same for you, by the way? If you hover the top cards, they don't show full screen, right, and flip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so apologies I can't show that off. I've been struggling with that all day, but still, I will just tell you now, there's a lot of damage spells in hand for Housewife on the top. I'll tell you that for free. And not really a lot of good answers for Theo right now. You're gonna have to go for the card draw.
Yeah, it's really just card draw. There's the clusters if you wanted to make some taunts, but in the face of, you know, the spell damage already in play, and then there's Alonia's discounted. That's nice at least.
Yeah, there's a Yogg pickup as well, which is always going to be useful. But that's just lethal, I guess. At least Housewife got revenge. That is lethal. Yeah, it's lethal. There's no taunts. I don't even know why I'm looking at that. I was looking at just the spells. I was like, yeah, that is lethal, isn't it? And then I realized, yeah, there are just no taunts in the way. So that, just like that, is going to be a little 1-1 between those two players in the mirror match. We will jump over to someone else, of course, and see if we can find something. But that Druid, or at least that style of Druid, I'm pretty excited to see. Let's see. Is there anyone you want to watch, Levice? Is there anyone you got an eye on? We can watch whoever.
You know, we could potentially watch. Zoltan was playing a bunch of this very low to the ground hunter, which is a little bit different from most of what we've been seeing.
Sounds good to me. Let's dive in. I'll just load up the game. Who are they against? They're against Raran. Okay. We might see some shenanigans if Raran's still on and he is still on WHIZBANG. Let's go to the game. I don't know if you saw that before, but the Raran versus Kibble game was quite amusing.
Yeah. Pretty silly. Oh, okay. Zoltan switched to the mage.
Yeah, we can still watch this though. We'll see how this plays out. I'm just looking at all the Renos.
Actually, this must be a WHIZBANG deck from Zoltan now, because all the cards are changing every turn.
Oh, right.
The mage deck for WHIZBANG is basically that every card in your hand changes each turn into a random mage card.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's every card from your deck, right? Because the Tar Creeper didn't change. Is that?
I guess not even necessarily random.
Either way,
I don't know.
It looks silly.
It's very unusual.
Yeah.
It's quite silly.
I do like that that's kind of the approach with WHIZBANG at the moment, is just, here's all these weird scenarios, right? There you go, enjoy. Because even just seeing all the Renos in Raran's hand. So here's the Relic Reno coming down for some fun. And yeah, I do think it also has Elise, Bran, and Finley in as well, this deck on the Paladin side.
Yeah, well, so for Paladin it says, this deck is legendary, which I guess means lots of explorers and legendaries, etc. This is a new elemental that Mage has access to, which I think is quite strong. You freeze an enemy minion and gain armor equal to...
It's attack, right?
Yeah, it's attack.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's nice as an elemental, if you're making an elemental deck, but it doesn't have to be in an elemental specific deck. You could kind of just run that defensively in any kind of mage.
Yeah, and it's one of those natural double whammies, right? Because a lot of the time that you're freezing a minion that you don't want to hit you, and you don't want it to hit you because it's normally got a lot of attack, right? So then you get that sort of double bonus of what you would want to freeze anyway will give you the most armor, which is pretty nice. I do feel like casting this mage is hard mode though, because it's just look at the hand. What even is it? Like,
Yeah, everything's changing
Yeah.
every single turn. It's just, I guess, cards that you get generated from other cards
change, yeah.
are
Like,
not
there you go.
morphing.
Yeah. I think it's the deck is morphing. If that makes sense, right? Like your
Right.
cards from the original deck are gonna morph, and anything else is extra. And it's just funny because you can tell that's like, what does this card do? Wait, let me read this card. Wait, what does this do?
What to do?
Yeah, so it can go for Aqua Archivist into the Tainted Remnant, because it discounts elementals.
Now, what would really keep people on their toes is if every time you played a card, your hand changed. That's maybe 2025 or something, but like that would be truly Hearthstone on hard mode. Oh yeah,
It is unfortunate that it includes neutrals though, because the neutrals, I feel like it's a lot harder to get good ones.
Yeah. I think you definitely expect a lower caliber of card in general, right? Yeah, I actually even forgot that this was miniaturized as well. You know, the slate.
Yeah,
I completely forgot until they just
twice.
played it. I was like, oh yeah, that is miniaturized. Which suddenly, when you look at that as a 1/1 that has that effect, it's like, right, yeah, that's strong.
Well, and in that previous match, the Druid choose one, that dragon where you draw a card or get spell damage, that's also
Yeah,
a miniaturized. So just being able to ramp up the spell damage from those is quite significant.
Yeah, I honestly, when I first saw the miniaturized keyword, I thought it was wrong because I was like, well, this is so good. You know, like I thought, why don't you have to do something weird to activate it, or you know, something like that? It's like, no, you just play the card and get a 1/1 copy that does the same thing. It's like, right, well, these seem great.
Yeah, I'll be curious, how many decks end up wanting the value out of something like the new Geppetto. We saw how a language hacker used that for the tons of Chaos Tendrils, because I guess
Yep.
there's only 2 10-mana spells. Leave it to language hacker to figure something out like that. Sunset Volley as many times as possible. But in addition to, Chaos Tendrils or the miniaturized minions, you've got the Mining Kobold from Excavate, so you could use that as getting more Excavates out of that. It'll just be interesting to see.
There'll be something,
know.
won't there? I feel like
Yeah.
that it's one of those mechanics where straight away you'd be like, right, something's gonna happen with this, right? Like someone, whether it's this expansion or maybe the next one, it will be broken at some point. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Yep, there's one of the Finleys going for the improved rogue hero power there for Raran. Gonna help defend, and considering there's still there is original heal Reno in hand at least. And I think there is still the heroes as well, right? There's still the hero Renos in there, so in the deck somewhere.
Is every card actually a legendary?
I think every card, obviously apart from the spells, are legendaries, right? Because I think this dragon was created.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong, but I think every card.
And of course it's a Highlander. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so this is a board clear. This interesting new Death Knight card, sort of a build your own defile.
Yeah. Okay, good damage. And the counter spell follow up as well. Not too bad at all. Well, saying that, there's not tons of spells in hand for Raran right now. And there's a Reno. The old, face tanker 7 attack minion, because why not?
And then I'm gonna play this, check for counter spell, see that it is. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. So, Lena will build a board. Could play a secret and get a full board of 3 drops.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look too bad. There's also just good old Firelands Portal, but yeah, I think I'm with you on this. Get the secret down.
Barrier, really.
Yeah, I think I would have gone with Explosive, considering what deck you're against.
Maybe figuring, there's chances that that'll turn into something other than a secret that is perhaps better.
The Crusader Aura pickup, though.
Yeah, I mean,
That is,
right after that board.
yeah.
build.
If you're gonna make a board, then yeah, Crusader Aura as a follow up as the mage is like, yeah, seems good to me.
We must stop this corruption.
And, particularly being generated, it's nothing you're looking out to
Whoa,
defend
yeah.
against. So.
Oh, Sif.
I don't think Sif is gonna be able to do much, but just Crusader Aura and then Chaos Creation.
I'm just wondering if Sif. Oh wait, what is Sif on? Sif's +5. What if it's worth just playing? Like trade through this and then just put Sif on board.
I think we gotta check if there's any kind of lethal. Just see how much damage is connecting
Yeah.
face, and then decide whether it's Chaos Creation or.
There you go.
Oh,
never
it puts
mind.
them to 1. And Rito's already been played.
Is Glacial Shard ever something to bear in mind? Probably not,
Mm.
right? Yeah. Just chuck the damage out there with Chaos Creation. I like it.
Well, and when your cards are changing every turn, I feel like you want to play the damage while you've got it.
Yep, just get the swing now, so not dead to ping.
Yep.
It was a little bit interesting, right? Because it could have been Glacial Shard, right? To stop the swing and then just do that turn. Oh no, because they'll change, won't they? Keep
Yep.
forgetting they change every turn, not just when they're drawn.
Yeah, and things like this draw a rush minion don't do anything since there's no minions. They're all
Yeah.
morphing cards.
I'm also wondering, like, would Snapshot shuffle morphs in or the actual cards?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's something because they're kind of both right now because they are the actual cards, but they're clearly because they are changing every turn. There's something that makes them not just the base version, right? Kind of weird. Zola, okay.
Yeah. You could Zola the elemental, and then next turn that one will draw 2.
Mm-hmm.
Card draw is so important to use when you can, just because it gives you more options.
Explorer comes prepared.
Random card from another Reno. I think there was one Reno in the opening, right? The relic one. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There's the Divine Shield as well for the Deathwing. Or is this just going to be a
there's-
sacrifice? Okay.
Yeah, there's just too much power in play.
Yeah. Going to be too much. And Zotan taking the victory there on... All I'll say is was definitely a game of Hearthstone. Is what I'll say there. Because it was whiz-bang at their greatest. I saw someone say go and check out Clark. But they're
Yeah,
making
I
a
saw
deck
that as
right
well.
now. So I will wait. We'll try and check in with them later on, maybe. Let me see. Who else have we got to...
Do we know what Chambre is up to?
We can definitely find out. If I can find him. There we go. Yeah. I'll jump into Jambray and see what they're up to. See if they've put together something that only Jambray would, of course. Oh, they're against Hunter. Oh, I don't think I have the spec, though, because that is... Yeah. Let's get in game. Rocking Mage this time round. Is that Excavate Mage? By the looks of things.
Well, there's a cryopreservation. I don't know if that means it's an Excavate Mage specifically.
Yeah, I guess I was just looking at the bird and just assumed.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, but there is always a bigger Yomunga. Imagine if if that was just lethal right now. I think it's close, but not quite. Oh, there we go. There we Jambray.
That's what's going on.
You know what you need to do. There is only one choice, and this is the correct one.
I'm just gonna assume that there's a box in there.
Let's go. Coin. Banana.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, well that gave a box. Spot the
Okay.
difference. Summon some minions.
Oh,
Power,
that'll do.
alright. Oh, so I didn't realize this because we just weren't sure. I didn't know what order spells would go.
Go
They
0
go
to yeah.
0 to 10. So that's actually quite beneficial because that means you can get things like star power happening before the spells that summon minions, like Fireland's Portal or Sunset Volley.
Hunter just doing Hunter things though.
Oh no!
Oh, the
Oh,
classic. The classic. Jambray trying to go popping off there with the big spells. Not going to be enough. We will stick on Jambray, but I do just have to quickly re-spectate. So give me 1 second. But I think Jambray deserves another chance. They definitely did the cool play at the end there. So we'll see if he